No, he's just bad.
Yeah.
He's bad at his job. And I think baseball's just tired of him becoming the focus of games he umpired.
It's amazing because how well respected he is amongst umpires.
I don't know why.
And maybe he's just a fun guy on the road. I don't know, but you would think that he damages their craft.
Yeah, I don't exactly. That's why I'm so surprised, Lance, that the union has stood behind him as much as they have, because it makes everybody else in the crew look bad.
Yeah, the best thing that could ever happen to Major League Baseball is if nobody ever talks about the umpires again.
That's right. I asked Buster this a couple of weeks ago, though, Dunaway, and we'll bring this back up when he's on the show Thursday with Angel Hernandez. I don't know if umpires have gotten worse at calling balls and strikes or if there's just more video evidence and technology now. But Buster said, one of his colleagues did the study and said, actually, they're calling them better right now. So it makes a guy like Angel Hernandez stand out even more. The guy was awful at what he did, and he was protected by a very strong union for years.
That's why you got to plan better. How late is she?
Running late in the jog.
Oh,
she's at the lunch shift somewhere, and she's
sweaty. That's what it is.
Hey,
she was supposed to be there at 10:30.
Yeah.
Janice, we've already set your table. They're waiting on water right now. Two things from SEC meetings going on in Nashville. Vanderbilt coaches for Pete Thamel. Vanderbilt coach Clark Lee succinctly summing up the ambiguity over roster caps, the possibility of having roster cap limits moving forward. What I've heard is that everything I've heard is not to be trusted. To share an opinion now would be irresponsible. There's been discussion about no cap and then flying as many scholarships as you want in football, and there's been some discussion of lowering it from 85 to 70.
Yeah, you thought it was the Wild Wild West before. Just wait now.
Yeah, you're going to have a cap, and you're going to lower the number. Again, we talked about this early in the show. Everything is going the NFL model.
Yep.
Those two things will be part of it.
You thought it was bad when they knew the rules and cheated. Just wait till nobody knows the rules.
And Billy Napier on the Jaden Rashada lawsuit from Pete Thamel. Quote, I can't comment on the specifics due to the litigation, but we're very confident in our legal team, very comfortable with my actions, and very appreciative of the university's support.
Yeah.
That from Billy Napier.
Swift, no comment.
Getting university support there, he says, as they do the SEC meetings down in Destin. We're back in studio tomorrow. More of what the football coaches said at those meetings that are underway in Destin tomorrow on the show. Thank you to On3 at their elite event. LT's going to hang out a while. We're back in studio tomorrow. LT and I will be there. There's a chance maybe it should be EG and me. Well, let me know if you don't make it back. EG and I can handle the show if you turn into a great pool day.
Well, I mean, here's what Grant said. He said, look, we're rolling out like top shelf food. We've got an open bar for the next round, guys. We've got a cabana over there. We've got extra rooms.
You stay and represent us. I would look forward to doing a show with Emily Grace tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's check with EG and make sure.
Okay. We'll knock it out.
And I do think I got some meetings, so I need to check on a couple of things.
Okay.
But I appreciate the offer.
Well, there it is. I mean, we are so blessed with how
My
big
plus one is parking right now.
we are so blessed with the talent we have, the 12 up there, that I could do a show by myself and fill up 2 or 3 seats.
Well, Little C will be back Thursday.
Yeah, so we can all rotate in and out. We have so much talent up here. We need to platoon a little bit more, get a few pitches to some of the bench players.
You got Anne-Marie Lessick, new intern up there, Clemson girl.
I need to learn her name, yes. Yeah. I didn't know who you were talking about for a second. That's our show from Nashville. Back in studio tomorrow. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show on a Wednesday as we get going, and it's a monumental day, several places going on. We'll update you on what's ahead today for Auburn golf.
Yep.
Could be a historic day for them later on. It's also a big day down at the SEC meetings in Destin. It was big yesterday. We'll sort of recap what happened yesterday. We'll hear from Kalen DeBoer. We'll hear from Lane Kiffin. We'll hear from Kirby Smart. And we'll hear from Steve Sarkisian, who's now part of the SEC coming up. But we start first with a looming deadline tonight. Jim Dunaway, Emily Grace McWhorter. Ryan's representing us at the charity golf tournament. Meanwhile, LT is still in Nashville with our friends at On3 Sports Elite. Rockstar will be in momentarily. Tyler is handling that job in the Hydra Life Center over there. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys today?
Always bringing the excitement, Tyler. We appreciate you, man. Forster's on the back row with Lunsford, who's back with us today. Melton's working on the meltdown. They're back with you live at 2. And I think tomorrow, am I right about this? Little T is back tomorrow from Europe. She's back in the command center?
Yeah, she's back.
She's back tomorrow.
She said she had the vacay blues of it ending, but no fear. She'll be back tomorrow.
She's not going to take time to sort of readjust her sleep schedule?
That sound like Taylor to you at all?
It does not.
No.
It does not.
Let's be so honest.
So we will get to Little T back on the show tomorrow. We'll check on how her Europe vacation went.
I'm excited. I know there's some good stories.
But deadline time for Mark Sears tonight. For those that don't know, tonight at midnight is the deadline. And those that enter the NBA draft and kept their college eligibility door open, they can come back to college after testing the NBA waters if they do so by midnight tonight. Already news this morning, Bronny James has said he is staying in the NBA draft. He is not coming back to college, so he's all in on professional basketball. Just give me a thought on Mark Sears and Jaron Stevenson, two Alabama guys, and whether or not you think, what do you think their choices are coming down to?
Well, I think for Mark Sears especially, he's in such a great position because his options are great either way. If he doesn't get the guarantee that he wants, he goes back to Alabama, and as everyone knows, that'll put them in a position to be that number one team. Now, if he gets a guarantee that he likes, then he's in the NBA living a lifelong dream. I think he is going down to the wire. His last workout today is with the Bucks, and he was projected to be their number 33 pick, I think. Something along those lines. And so it's interesting. I think that it's a no-lose situation for Mark Sears. Yeah,
the Bucks hopefully will give him a quick answer today, and we'll know before maybe this afternoon how that workout goes on.
Yeah.
Landmine believer Jaron Stevenson is more likely to stay in the draft than Sears, in his opinion. That's because with him, size is really good.
It does.
And they would be buying the future potential of him, right?
I think with Mark Sears, he's looking for a team to almost take a chance on him and buy into him and believe in him. And size has always been discussed with him. That's nothing new. But it is interesting. I go back to he's in a good position. And either way, whatever turns out, he's going to be just fine. And I think Nate Oates also agrees with that.
Yeah, and I don't know how you feel, but the roster at Alabama is built to absorb both of those guys back, or let both of those guys go, and you can still have a really good basketball team in Tuscaloosa.
We've talked about this before, but roster management right now, that would not be something I would want to be in the position that Nate Oates is in. It is insane to me how he's building that team, and we were able to speak with him at the Alabama event we were at. It was exclusive content, but it was really interesting to hear him say the process, because someone asked, like, what is it like building a roster and recruiting? And his insight on that was super interesting.
Yeah. Share a little.
Well, can I give like a sneak peek?
Yeah.
He was saying he enjoys the process, and it's a science. What do you say? He's like, some people like, or maybe it was you, like some people like to build houses, some people like to build different things, and Nate Oates likes to build rosters. And it's super interesting because you're bringing in these players, and the guarantee is not there for them. They know that they may not play X amount of minutes, yet he's still getting them to buy into a program and having to build a starting five around that. It's pretty interesting.
So that's where the spotlight is today for a lot of programs. I mean, either Alabama, who was in the Final Four, is going to reload with two NBA potential guys. They could reload with one, lose both.
But that will change a little bit on how you feel about Alabama as a preseason number 1 or number 2 team in the country. It'll change maybe the way you feel about Alabama in the SEC championship race. We'll talk to Justin Hokinson on the Auburn side, Auburn Live on 3 Sports. He'll be with us at 10:30 today because they're coming back. A guy that just pulled out, Miles Kelly, Georgia Tech player who was in the NBA draft, pulled out just 2 days ago. He's wrapping up the Auburn roster. It's now complete. It's versatile, according to Hoke, and we'll talk to Hokinson about Auburn's roster coming up at 10:30 today, and a little football with him as well. We'll flip now to SEC meetings going on in Destin after I tell you about Dr. B, the guy that's got LT's hair looking so good that he decided to stay in Nashville for another day and enjoy the wind blowing at the pool. Yeah.
I saw someone say that the treatments have been working well as I sit in this chair, and I have to agree. I'm not with Dr. B's hair treatments, but for Lance, it is working.
It is the best hair we've had in that chair in a long, long time. Dr. B offers so many things you'll see in the video here, and he's working with Brown now to sort of rejuvenate and jumpstart that hair growth again. Look, you get to a point in life like me, it doesn't work anymore, right? It's too late. The follicles are dead. So while you still have time, go check out T3 Hair Preservation and Dr. B. He'll help you out and sort of rejuvenate like he's done for LT and will do for Brown, as Brown has started those treatments recently. You can get details right there by going to check them out. He also wants you to come by and learn more about those treatments. And that's a helmet that Brown wears every night. Look at that. Just put that on,
incredible.
Sit there for 30 minutes on the couch, watch a game, watch a TV, and it rejuvenates everything. Check him out online and everything you need to be with T3 Hair Preservation. That's our man, Dr. B. He brings you part of the show today. I'll tell you this, SEC meetings going on. When the coaches get together down in Destin, it's always fun to see the dynamic.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, Lane Kiffin on social media, Lane Kiffin is a wild, crazy, funny guy.
Right.
In person, he's really an introvert. He's not that outgoing. He's more outgoing on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes, and I remember at the Alabama-Ole Miss game, he speaks at a whisper level post-game. You can't hear the man.
He's the same way, but he's good on the gram. He'll take a picture, and so he had no problem walking up to former friend, offensive coordinator, and now head coach of rival Mississippi State, Jeff Lebby, and those two had a picture. Lane looking good, man. He's got that open collar shirt, not using all the buttons.
Yeah, I mean, that's a style.
Yeah, the buttons
I like the color.
Buttons are optional. Meanwhile, Lebby in a little rowback gear, a beachy-like shirt, ready to go. They're down at SEC meetings. One guy that wasn't there, a guy that usually controlled the room yesterday, Nick Saban, for the first time in 17 years, not at the SEC spring meetings.
And Lane Kiffin actually said he felt as though Kirby Smart has entered that role. I saw it on Twitter yesterday, but that must be kind of a culture shock. And I would love to just be a fly on the wall in some of those meetings. Who's taking up the most space with their voice? And I feel like Nick Saban has such an intimidating presence, even with those coaches, that now it's probably like we can kind of let our hair down a little bit. But
well, the room got a lot younger.
Yeah, a lot younger.
So and
some new people in there as well.
The question I wanted to ask you as a reporter.
Okay.
Because if we were in Destin, I know in my reporting world, my days in local TV, Nick Saban, I would have stopped doing whatever I was doing go get Nick Saban walking in and try to interview Nick Saban. Who replaces that guy now?
I think it's Kirby, but you also have OU in Texas. I think that Kalen DeBoer has been so accessible to us media that his shot isn't as important, but I think would be Kirby.
Yeah. Kirby Smart's trying to sort of fill that void. But he doesn't have that personality either.
No.
He doesn't have that. It was something about Nick Saban. Maybe it was his age, his resume, whatever it was. When he walked into a room, he filled the room up and everybody sort of turned their attention to Nick Saban. I don't know if we have that coach right now in the SEC.
I don't think we do either, but a quick story about Saban. The first time I saw him, it was Texas-Bama. And I was looking at him through my camera, so not even close to him, looking at him through my camera, and I remember it settled on him, and I put the camera down because I felt like I had to ask if I can even record him, and I was 30 yards away. And that was the kind of intimidation that he had when it came to just people and media. And when he was approaching that room at Malmore, people sat up straighter. people got into position, and I will say that has changed only slightly in that building.
We'll talk a little bit more later on about roster limits, walk-ons, some of the other things. But the first thing I want to talk about in the show, cut number one, Tyler, if you'll give me cut one, is Kalen DeBoer. This is a perception that everyone has now because we had two teams playing for the BCS championship all those years, and if you were not first or second in the BCS standings, you didn't play for a national championship. Right. Then we went to a 4-team playoff, and everyone's like, it's easier now. You can lose a game and maybe still get into the 4-team playoffs. Now it's 12.
Right.
And the conversation, Tyler, you would agree with this, and you really don't care about sports. There's been a lot of conversation about, you can lose 2 games and still make in. You've heard that, right?
That has been a conversation lately.
Yeah. I can
being able to go 10-2 and make playoffs.
10-2, make the playoffs. Kalen DeBoer was asked about that. Wiggle room, 10-2. Can Alabama lose 2 games and still make the playoffs? Every SEC coach gets asked this. Kalen DeBoer answered like this.
You want to be the highest seed that you possibly can, and so every single game still, to me, is very important. It isn't just always about making the playoffs. It's about winning in the playoffs and winning the championship. And so everything that goes into that, matters when it comes to each and every game. So, I don't like to think that you have a little wiggle room because more teams are in the playoffs. I don't want us thinking that way. I want us thinking about every game, the significance of it, how important it is to us, landing in a great spot, and getting a potential first round bye in the playoffs. And so that's, to me, what we'll be attacking and what we'll be working for.
A first round bye only goes to conference champions.
Right.
So the SEC will only have 1 bye.
Yeah.
No matter how good the SEC is, there's only 1 bye.
But think about, too, that first round you're playing on campus. That is insane to me. Like, imagine a Georgia ending up in Salt Lake City. That'd be crazy.
Oh, Georgia playing Utah.
Yeah. But somehow Georgia doesn't win the SEC championship and they don't have that bye. Utah wins Big 12, and suddenly the University of Georgia is traipsing out to Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Could be. It's interesting that he says, I don't want to think about the wiggle room. And I think that's a great way to think about it because your goal should be to win the SEC championship and get that bye. I've learned in life that if you start thinking about wiggle room, that you start eating up that wiggle room, and at some point you end up with no wiggle room.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You get complacent.
Yeah,
because you're like, eh.
The first time I experienced that, I think it was freshman year in college, right? Where they said, oh no, we don't take attendance. You don't have to show up for the class.
That's dangerous
on
the way.
So that was wiggle room, right? I had wiggle room. I didn't have to go to class. Somebody was going to check to see if I was in class.
Yeah.
So what started happening? I had wiggle room, and I was like, I don't need to go to this Wednesday 8 a.m. class. Then next Monday, I don't need to go to that Monday 8 a.m. class. And
Friday,
then it was back Wednesday again, right? So all of a sudden, my wiggle room was gone.
Right.
I didn't know what the heck midterm was about. So I like that approach, that the wiggle room, you just can't take that into consideration.
No, and I don't think many coaches will be taking that into consideration. Just with and I'm speaking to the SEC, you can't. You really can't. And like you say, when you take a little bit of that and your players get a taste of that, it affects workouts, it affects game day, it affects what they're doing the night before, and you cannot have that, especially when he's walking into the situation that he's walking into at Alabama.
Yeah.
No complacency.
No complacency. So what I asked you to do was to come up with your list of national championship contenders and playoff contenders. All right? So we're going to get to that in just a second after I tell you about our friends at Way to Wellness, but there are certain teams that I consider national championship contenders and some who are playoff contenders.
For sure.
But a team that I don't think can actually win 3 or 4 games once they're in the playoffs. I asked EG to throw together a list, and when we talk about wiggle room, we'll talk about that right now. Wiggle room with your weight, maybe you want to start losing some of that. That's what Way to Wellness can do for you, your journey to healthy living. All you have to do is go to their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com, to learn everything that they have to offer for you. Eating plans, they have some other treatments for you other than just the eating plans. But the Meltdown guys, myself, we've been on the program for a while now, and we love it. It works, and it's a safe way to do it. You're not popping a drug in your body all the time. trying to lose weight quickly. It's a gradual process that will sustain for a lifetime. They help me with blood pressure and cholesterol numbers as well. They can help you. Planforme.com, planforme.com. No contract, no sign-up fees, and that first consultation is free. It is Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. All right. So if I said, are they all on one page, Forrester?
No, I've got two.
Two different pages?
Yep.
All right. So let's go with national championship contenders first. The guys you consider to be national championship contenders.
Let me preface this too. My national championship contenders are ranked. My playoff contenders are not. I just did whatever looked good on the graphic.
Okay.
So my first, and I went back and forth on this. I think you could interchange Ohio State and Georgia at number one. I have reasons for both, but I eventually settled on the University of Georgia. And I think that Carson Beck, who looks like, have you seen number one draft pick like I have? He looks like he's going to be in that role. I think he's experienced. I think that the offensive line is going to be incredible. And I love Kirby's experience in that role. Now, the pitfall, though, is they don't have the easiest schedule. It's not a clear path. They have to play Bama at home, Ole Miss. It's just...
Oh, but they got wiggle room.
Oh, they got wiggle room. They got wiggle room. And so that was kind of the determining factor for me at 1 or 2. So at number 2, I've got Ohio State. I think that their roster is insane. And one thing, Dunaway, which is really kind of unique to me, is their roster, how they were able to retain players, but also add players. You've got Quinton Judkins, who we'll talk about in a second, his former team. But what it comes down to me is I don't know if Ryan Day is the guy still. I don't think Ohio State fans are necessarily bought in. And I don't know what their O-line is going to look like. I think their defense is going to be definitely a point of conversation as a strength for them. But ultimately, I think that Georgia's bad schedule, if you will, outweighed Ryan Day and the O-line to put them at number 1. Number 3, I've got Texas. I think they have a great schedule. I think that their path looks pretty good. I think Quinn Ewers, 3 years of experience. They do need to improve the secondary, but at number 3, I like it. Defensive line is also a question. Now I also have at 4, Oregon. I know, this is interesting. Go with me here. So Dylan Gabriel, I think he will be the most experienced quarterback, beating Bo Nix's record. And
for games played, Bo Nix has that record.
Yep, Bo Nix has it.
Bo played his entire life in college football, now at the Broncos. So Dylan Gabriel, who's been at UCF, started there for a couple of years, been at Oklahoma, now going to Oregon. We'll see if he ends up breaking Bo's record.
It'll be interesting. And really what put Oregon at number 4, I know they have Evan Stewart. They put him in there in the mix. But Dan Lanning for me, I think what's really interesting, and I was thinking about who I wanted this 4 spot. Dan Lanning loves Oregon, and Oregon loves Dan Lanning. Yeah. And if we think back to the whole Nick Saban retirement, which I covered very closely, there were hype videos made about your coach staying. And Dan Lanning was one of the first coaches to do that. He was very adamant that he wants to be at Oregon. So that's why I have them at that number 4 spot.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Jimmy D?
I like your top 3. I do not like
Oregon.
Like
my number 4.
I'll go with what Brody says. Lanning can't beat DeBoer. He lost to him twice last year.
That's true.
I love me some Dan Lanning.
Yeah.
I just wonder, can he win some big games?
Yes.
And can he win 3 of them, which you have to do if you've got to buy 4 of them if you don't have a buy. Let's see my list, if we can, Forrest, and we'll go back to her other playoff contenders here. This, again, off of the SEC meetings.
I like your graphic.
The top line for me, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas. Those are the 3 teams I think have the deepest rosters and have the roster capable of surviving an extended playoffs. And then Oregon, you see I have down, no particular order here. This is just playoff contenders: Alabama, Ole Miss, Missouri, LSU, Oregon, Michigan, Big 12 champion, ACC champion, Group of 5 champion. And those are the teams I think would make up the playoffs. But I really only think 3 teams.
You think
3 teams.
Okay.
The 3 you had minus Oregon.
You know what those 3 teams that we have, 1 through 3, all have in common? They have really good collectives. And they have a lot of resources.
They do. And I just believe they have the deepest rosters that could survive the extended playoff. I almost put Alabama in there as well.
Really?
Yeah. But
okay.
I didn't, because I figured everyone would be like, Jimmy Homer here, Jimmy Alabama. But Alabama's the only one I considered to go up there with Georgia, Ohio State, and Texas. And I would have no problem putting Alabama up on that list as well.
Okay, interesting.
Ole Miss, I think they're a playoff team. I don't think they can win the national championship. I'm not sure Missouri's even a playoff team. I think LSU could get into playoffs. Oregon's a playoff team. I don't think they can win it all. I don't think Michigan's going to fall off as much as everyone else. I think they'll still make the playoffs with their defense. They'll be a Big 12 champion. I think the ACC has a chance of getting 2 teams in to the playoffs, and then there'll be a group of 5 team. But only Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, maybe Alabama are national championship contenders for me.
Brody brings up a great point. Who is the quarterback even going to be for Day? And that is why I put them at number 2 when you put that against Carson Beck.
Yeah, it's going to be Will Howard.
There's a lot of discussion there, but and Ohio State, historically, they do underperform, but I think it's now or never for them. Yeah. But what does that do for a coach and a staff when you're at this point in the year and you have so much pressure that you either need to put out or shut out? The stress of that, I feel like, would get to me, but that's why they're obviously paid to be these coaches, and I'm not.
Did you guys hear her Southern accent, though, her Georgia accent? When the first time she said Dan Lanning, it sounded like she said
Lanning?
Damn Lanning, which would be a great T-shirt if they wanted to do it at Oregon.
Maybe
or
Damn
Lanning.
We can send that over.
Yeah, put that in the store there. All right, so there's playoff contenders, wiggle room, the conversation coming out of the SEC meetings in Destin yesterday. Kalen DeBoer says, I don't want to think about wiggle room. It's about getting that bye. It's about winning the SEC championship. And we'll see who becomes playoff contenders as the season kicks off in 87 days when we go with week 0. Should be a whole lot of fun as we get closer and closer to a historic college football season because of the expansion, the new looked Big Ten and the SEC. So much so that I heard yesterday, I think I was listening to Feinbaum when I heard this, and they had a reporter on that covers Texas. Texas is planning a countdown party like New Year's Eve. And there'll be bands and confettis and everything to when they become an official member of the SEC.
I like that. I like the enthusiasm to join the party.
Yeah, I think it's officially on July 1, so the countdown to July 1 in Austin. They're going to have a big block party, and the confetti will go off whenever it officially happens. And
do we need to send someone out there for check out the scene?
You're always volunteering for a road trip, aren't you?
I am.
All right, off and rolling this morning. Justin Hokinson in a little over an hour to talk about the Alabama roster. Show today being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. They always bring you best and worst of the weekend on Mondays. Hemp Hill Services, if you're got something that's not running right, including your heating and your cooling, your plumbing, they take care of that. Whether you're experiencing plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or your business, they do business as well. They're ready to serve you. You contact them right there at Hemp Hill, 205-229-2090. The name Birmingham's trusted since the 1950s. It's Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090, or just remember the name Hemp Hill. When we come back, what else is going on in college football, including a familiar face who got a trophy this week? Yes, that's when we come back on the next round.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
You guys up and rolling in the chat room over there. Big Mike 27 beating me to the punch. Hold on, I got a picture here in just a second, Big Mike, on that one. Troy pointing out to everybody about the quarterback situation there with Will Howard, Julian Sayin, and Aaron Nolan up there. And they've got an incumbent who was QB2 last year, and I think Brown, who is still there. 4 quarterbacks that are capable at Ohio State. I was always shocked that one of those or 2 of those guys didn't leave in this offseason. Appreciate your input always over there. We'll get to that story, Big Mike, in just a second. First, let me tell you about Woodhouse Day Spa right there nestled at the Summit Mall just off Highway 280. They have all the great services there, including the Hydrofacial Deluxe. You've used that, haven't you? The Hydrofacial?
No, not the Hydrofacial.
Okay.
I've been wanting to. I get my eyebrows done at Woodhouse, and it's awesome. I love the environment. It's very calm, relaxing, and even if you're getting your eyebrows done, you're getting the full experience. So you've got robes, you've got slippers, you've got spa water. So if you need a gift card for your girlfriend, your wife, even yourself, go check out Woodhouse. I love it. It's conveniently located in the Summit, so you can grab some lunch and then head over.
205-905-7676 to make that appointment. 905-7676 at Woodhouse. All right, let's do the picture. Walking off the field Monday as national champion, one-time Alabama quarterback and longtime Notre Dame quarterback who left Alabama to go back and finish his lacrosse career, Tyler Buckner, a defensive player in lacrosse, was a national champion. There you see, MVP of the Gator Bowl, transfers to Alabama, member of the 2024 Rose Bowl team, transfers back to Notre Dame, and wins the lacrosse national title. Now, his stat line, not crazy, because he was basically a defender in lacrosse. His former receiver, Jordan Faison, more impressive. I saw a picture of them walking off the field as national champions earlier. Faison actually had 22 goals this year.
That's insane.
And the football players translating to a Notre Dame national championship.
Wow. I played lacrosse, actually, in high school. That was my sport. So this is fun to be able to talk about my background on
So
this.
you played lacrosse?
Yeah. That was 4 years on varsity.
A lot of contact in that sport. Incidental for the women usually.
Yeah, we only wore goggles and mouth guards, but it was pretty brutal. I am a proponent that we should have had like elbow guards and the whole 9 yards, but we did not. I loved it. It was the most fun sport I've ever played.
Yeah,
loved it.
They say the cross from lacrosse to football, that's why these two guys were good, highly recruited in both sports, played both sports, really impressive. I don't know about you guys who are watching us. When Tyler Buckner announced he was leaving Alabama to go back to Notre Dame for lacrosse, I was like,
what?
I mean, how good can you really be? And they went back and they win the national.
That's so cool to me, though, that you can have that on your resume. Like, what a story for your kids.
Yeah, national champion there and made it to, as a backup, played one game for Alabama.
Infamous game.
And then great there at Notre Dame as a quarterback for a while as well. All right, this week we had the passing of Bill Walton. And it made me think about broadcasters who were unique in their own way. Right? And not always beloved because they had unique styles. And there's a generational gap, if you haven't noticed, between EG and I, 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, 8 maybe.
Maybe 10.
Maybe 15.
So I'm going to throw out a couple of names, and you tell me if you know or have heard of these announcers at all.
Can I look up pictures of their faces or no?
Some of these you will not have to.
Okay.
Like you know who Chris Berman is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, folks at home, did you like Chris Berman's style? He used to actually host a Sports Center back in the day, and he did a show called NFL Prime Time.
Yes.
That he did for a while.
I don't think I have much of an opinion. I think on him, I know he was more controversial to like my dad and like his friends. But yeah, I liked him.
But he did things like back on home runs and, you know.
It was unique.
Yeah, he was unique. Sort of like Bill Walton was. Dick Vitale, still doing it. You know Dickie V, right?
Yes, I know that.
Do you like Dickie V style?
Yeah. I think for me, it's hard to not like someone, I feel like, when it comes to it, because they're such a unique flair. That was how I started, was color commentating. And so I have such not a soft spot, but I know how hard it is to do.
This guy passed way too soon, Stuart Scott.
Stuart Scott, I'm familiar with the name.
ESPN Sports Center, cooler than the other side of the pillow. He had great catchphrases. He was really unique and good. Here's where we get to the generational gap now. I know you're familiar with the video game.
Okay.
But do you remember how great of a broadcaster, you never saw him do it, I don't think, John Madden was?
Yeah, I'm honestly, like, I've heard more of his calls probably than most of the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was sort of the first dynamic broadcaster as an analyst who, as a former coach, you know, he did boom and all this stuff, and the telestrator work and quarterback bootleg right here.
So
bootleg.
cool.
Yeah,
The little
animated,
circle. I just love that. I love it.
He was so good.
I want one of those.
Obviously, the video game transcends his broadcasting career. Everyone still plays Madden all the time. Way before your time.
Okay.
Way before your time. And I'm talking about just announcers who had a controversial style. Some liked, some hated. When I was a kid, I hated this guy. Have you ever heard of the name Howard Cosell?
No. Not even once.
Lunsford, you're young as well. Tyler, I know, has never heard of Howard Cosell. Have you ever heard the name Howard Cosell?
Are you kidding me?
You have, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, he's a legendary broadcaster, but when did he stop broadcasting? I mean, before the 90s, right? He stopped in the 80s.
Yeah, sometime in the 80s.
But an iconic figure. Forrester, are you familiar with Howard Cosell?
Yeah, I'm familiar. I don't recall ever watching a game he was doing, but yeah, I'm familiar.
And I mean this as a compliment, but you guys know I'm the worst person at giving a compliment, maybe
Correct.
on the planet.
We're all nodding.
Yeah, maybe on the planet. Mm-hmm. Cosell, Feinbaum reminded me of Cosell when I first started listening to Feinbaum. Just not the style or anything, just Paul. I don't know, just Paul's not a sporty looking guy, but he always had good opinions. And Cosell wasn't a sporty looking guy. I don't know if he had good opinions or not. Laura said a legendary voice. He was. His interviews with Muhammad Ali were always good. And then there's one that was beloved. You guys hit it already. Keith Jackson. Do you even know who Keith Jackson is?
Familiar with the name, but couldn't listen. Couldn't hear a call. I do want to remind everyone.
That's what's sad is that he probably was the best college football announcer of all time.
Yeah, I do. This is a good reminder of the age gap. I just turned 23.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Is something to
like you're. Who's the voice of college football for you?
Oh gosh.
Is it Chris Fowler?
Yeah, I would say Chris Fowler. Yeah.
And I love Chris Fowler.
Mm-hmm.
But that's sad.
Yeah.
That it's not Keith Jackson.
Yeah.
Or Brent Musburger.
Now, if you asked like my brothers, they would be more familiar. There's an age gap between us.
Do yourself a favor and go back and don't do the 90s. Go back on YouTube, late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
And pull up an old game. There are old games everywhere.
Okay.
And listen to a little Keith Jackson. Because he's from help me out in the chat room. He's from the Pacific Northwest, but he's got Georgia ties. Or is he from Georgia and settled in the Pacific Northwest? One way or the other, but he's a very southern.
Yeah, I like that.
Southern announcer.
I like Skip Carey, Liam I'm Believer. Vern Lundquist, familiar with Vern.
Yeah.
But Skip Carey, oh, so good.
Jim Ross in wrestling fame. So
Kirk Herbstreit, yeah, he honestly might be it for my generation over Chris Fowler.
be the voice of college football.
Kirk Herbstreit, yeah.
Yeah, he's the analyst, not the play-by-play guy, but yeah.
Still.
So if I asked you, Lunsford, the voice of college football for your generation, you're in between me and EG.
I mean, growing up, it was Keith Jackson into Brent Musburger, I guess.
Yeah, you're looking live.
Yeah, that's what I grew up with. I mean, obviously now for a long time it's been Chris Fowler, but I'd probably say Keith Jackson into Brent Musburger for me.
Roopville, Georgia.
Roopville, Georgia. Where is that?
That's John Jerry. That's where Keith's from.
Georgia.
And then he went to Washington State. What about you, Forrester? Who's the voice of college football for you?
I mean, obviously he hasn't been for a while, but I mean, growing up, Ron Franklin was kind of that guy. I remember watching so many Auburn night games, with Ron Franklin.
So that puts you in your 40s then, right?
Correct.
Yeah. That Saturday night game with Ron Franklin slides you into your 40s there.
The population of
30s for you, Lunsford?
Yeah, I'm 37. Honestly, Vern would probably be up there too for me. I actually like Vern.
I actually liked Vern too. His kick six call was really, really good.
He's got a lot of them.
Yeah, he's got a lot of those, but the kick six call was really good.
Roopville, Georgia, the population is 218 in 2010. That is a small number of people.
Yeah.
That is like,
in 2010.
In 2010.
What part of the state is it?
Trying to figure that out. Carroll County. Let's see.
That
doesn't help me either.
Is it near the Atlantic coast? Is it near Florida? Is it near Alabama? Is it near Tennessee?
It's near the Alabama line.
Ah, so he's virtually an Alabamian.
Basically. You guys can claim him if you want.
Oh, we claim a lot of stuff. It was interesting with the passing of Bill Walton, who had his unique style of calling a basketball game. Made us all start thinking a little bit about some of the legendary sportscasters we've had over the years. Some liked, some disliked.
I think one thing that's changing right now is when we're talking about sideline reporters, I think for so long it was Aaron Andrews. It was, I want to be Aaron Andrews. For me, that was, Aaron Andrews. And now it's Laura Rutledge to girls that want to do work in sports and be in the sports industry. And I think that's an interesting change. I don't know if it's because not as many younger girls are super heavily involved in the NFL. They're watching more college football, which may be the case. And they're seeing more of Laura Rutledge, even though she does do NFL Live. But I thought that was kind of an interesting crossover for me to see like the generational change in that. And like Molly McGrath too. People love her.
Yeah, and in between Aaron and Laura Rutledge, there was a time Sam Ponder.
Yeah, Sam Ponder.
Sam Steele was a recommendation of mine to the young students that I was talking to.
That's awesome.
All right, one more thing in this segment. We'll get to our 40 and 40 team right now, for sure, if you can get that ready to go. It is brought to you by our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Don't forget, you can do the games. The NBA playoffs continue with at least one more game in the Western Conference Finals. It's the T-Wolves stayed alive last night. You could have played that at mybookie.ag, mybookie.ag, QR code right there. They take care of you. Nope, other way. QR code right there. You can do that QR code and hit that mybookie.ag app. Casino games as well. You don't even have to go to the casino. You can play them there. Mybookie.ag. Use the promo code NEXTROUND always when you sign up with mybookie.ag. They bring you the 40 and 40 countdown. And today we're at number 31. And that's that block in there. The Nebraska Cornhuskers come in at 31. Nebraska in at 31. And I will tell you this. I like this Nebraska team.
Really?
And I'll tell you the reason I like this Nebraska team. They didn't have a quarterback last year. I think they got two of them this year. We'll talk more about that. What do you like about Nebraska?
I like their running backs coming back. Now, two of them, and Gabe Irvin Jr. and Ramir Johnson, they had season-ending injuries, so they'll get them back. They also added Oregon transfer Dante Dowdell. So I think that's pretty interesting. But Nebraska's one of those programs, they were such a powerhouse, and they had a fall from grace, if you will. And I think that Matt Rule's
ironically not a powerhouse in your lifetime. Can you believe that?
Nope.
Three-time national champions in the 90s, but your whole life they've been a blah program.
I only, the lore around Nebraska, I only discovered truthfully in my recent years about how good they were and how many fans were bought into that program. This is my Georgia Southern plug. I have to do it. Georgia Southern beat Nebraska. That was the biggest win of my time in college. I was actually watching the game at Auburn. There's a picture of me like watching the game on my phone with Jordan Hare in the background. And that was what expedited Scott Frost's exit from that program.
So you guys got Scott Frost fired at Nebraska.
Did. Yeah, it was incredible time to be an Eagle.
Look at some of the schedule you've got for Nebraska coming up this year. Remember, as a Big Ten team, they really have not settled into the Big Ten. When they left the Big 12 to go to the Big Ten, I thought they were going to have great success in the Big Ten. That has not happened. They open up with 3 winnable games before they start Big Ten play: UTEP, Colorado, Northern Iowa. That Colorado game will be a payback game in week 2. They get that in Lincoln. They should have won it last year in Boulder. Illinois comes in to start the conference play. They're at the week 4 game. At Purdue's a winnable game. Rutgers. So right now you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At Indiana could be 7-0.
Wow.
I'll say it again for those in the back row. Nebraska could be 7-0 going into Columbus to play number 1 or number 2 Ohio State there on October the 26th.
They could be bowl eligible before Ohio State, is what you're saying.
That's right. Could be bowl eligible. They haven't been to a bowl in a while. Could be bowl eligible before they even get to the strength of their schedule. Now, they end hard. They could be 7-0. Should be 7-0, I'll go. Should be 7-0. And then at Ohio State, UCLA, at USC, Wisconsin, at Iowa to end things out. Quarterback Dylan Raiola, the big-time recruit. Danny Kalen there. Both have NFL talent. Night and day this year. Nebraska, bounce-back year, bowl game. They become relevant again. 7-0.
7-0.
7-0 going to play Ohio State.
What a time that would be. I'd love to see it. That would make me happy if their O-line can get things together. But I don't know. I think that's an interesting take. I did not realize that was a possibility, Dunaway.
You sound doubtful on them being 7-0.
I sound a little doubtful, but I'll hold you to it come week 7, and we can chat about it again then.
That's our 40 and 40 team today at number 31, Nebraska, brought to you by our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. mybookie.ag. Go sign up, promo code next round there, and they'll take care of you, as they do all of our next round viewers and customers. And you start playing baseball games this afternoon. Day baseball starting at 11:30 today with the Tigers in action. You can get a little day baseball, night baseball. The Braves back in action tonight. The NBA playoffs continue tomorrow night. All that at mybookie.ag. Promo code next round, mybookie.ag. We'll do team number 30 tomorrow. We'll start with our 30 teams in the countdown as we've knocked out the first 10 in our 40 and 40 countdown to the season. One team every day all the way up to SEC Media Days coming up in July. One more thing to get to in this opening segment. You saw Illinois on the schedule for Nebraska. This is the 100th year of their stadium on campus in Champaign.
Wow.
So they're rolling out 3 historic helmets that they will use this year. Illinois, the most current one, that was the helmet of my childhood to the far right. The Illini in the middle, I don't remember that one. But the one on the far left I like a lot. It's just a number, and then it's got some stars above the number there. Classic look there. But 3 helmets for the orange and blue Illini rolling this year at Memorial Stadium there. 100 years of football there in Champaign at that stadium that at one point hosted
Georgia Southern.
Everything's Georgia Southern. Hosted the Chicago Bears for a season while they remodeled Soldier Field.
I can't confirm that about Georgia Southern. I just thought you were going to give me a fun fact.
I was not. All right. So there you go. Much more college football coming up. When we come back, some NFL news. And then we'll get back to SEC meetings going on at the top of the hour. And Justin Hokinson joins us at 10:30 Auburn Live. We'll talk Auburn basketball roster and some Auburn football news, all that coming up with Hoke at 10:30. The show today being brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA. As a man, you get older, 20s to 30s, you start worrying about some things inside your body, and that progresses 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and so on. Stay on top of your health with our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930-0920. 930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Locations all over the state, 16 locations. One near you. Find it and then schedule that appointment and stay on top of your health. 205-930-0920 or urologycentersalabama.com.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Back with you on the Next Round. SEC meetings continue in Destin. We'll hear more from the coaches who were there, football coaches who were there yesterday. Get a little basketball coaches and athletic directors today. LT and Brownie both back with us on the show tomorrow. EG sitting in with us on this Wednesday. And later on, in about an hour, we'll introduce you to Anne Marie, our summer intern. She brings a little Clemson juice into the family. She's going to have our 4 downs for us later on, so you'll get to meet Anne Marie, our intern, coming up.
I love it.
Show number 713 today, being brought to you in part by our friends at Johnson RV Center, johnsonrvcenter.com, where they always have competitive financing and that military discount. Your search is over if you're looking for that great RV. They're all new pricing right there. Every RV has been priced and repriced. Guaranteed lowest price nationwide at Johnson RV Center. You can get them at Coleman and Decatur, or look online at johnstonrvcenter.com, johnstonrvcenter.com. They've been dealing with you for over a decade now. Top ranked in Alabama, it's our friends at johnstonrvcenter.com, johnstonrvcenter.com in Coleman and in Decatur. Passed them on my way home from Nashville yesterday.
Great. We had so much fun with them at Talladega.
Yep,
awesome people.
They set us up there for sure. All right, getting back to a little NFL news here as the OTAs continue. A little problem with some former LSU wide receivers. If you are Justin Jefferson, the buzz came out yesterday from a couple of reports that the Vikings have actually been shopping him around.
Interesting.
In some trade discussions.
Okay.
Specifically leading into the draft. That if they had been able to draft Malik Nabers, another LSU receiver, that they were going to trade Justin Jefferson, who I think is considered to be the best in the business right now.
Yeah. He was on my fantasy team. I think I traded him to Tim Melton with a guarantee I'd get him back next season.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors if they could have gotten their hand the Vikings on Malik Neighbors, they would let Justin Jefferson walk. Of course, there's a big contract looming there for Justin Jefferson, but even more reports now are that they're still maybe interested in moving Justin Jefferson along instead of giving him a long time, lengthy contract.
What is the reasoning behind that?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me because he's the best in the business right now. Malik Neighbors has a lot of potential.
So get cash basically,
they would get draft picks and maybe a player. I don't believe they're going to trade him. I think they're using this to negotiate. They're trying to maybe reset the market. Nick Bosa is the highest paid non-quarterback. 5 years, $170 million.
Wow.
They believe Justin Jefferson's contract will make him the highest paid non-quarterback, which
beating
would
out
pass
Nick
that.
Bosa.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a lot of money coming in.
That is, but you make a lot of money, and you're always looking for that game-changing playmaker.
That's true.
Interesting, though, if you believe they're willing to shop him, one place that could be interested is reuniting with his former quarterback in Atlanta with Kirk Cousins, that they would send Drake London and some draft picks to Minnesota.
Forrester, what are your thoughts?
Would you take Justin Jefferson and give up some draft picks and Drake London?
How many draft picks?
2 was the buzz. Next year's first-round draft pick, and then I think a third.
Yeah, I would say Justin Jefferson's probably worth that.
You would give Drake London first-round and third-round draft pick for Justin Jefferson.
Okay, maybe.
Well, I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just resetting the table for you.
That might be a tall ask.
Yeah. I mean, Drake London's pretty dang good.
He is. He's not Justin Jefferson.
He's not, but he hadn't had a quarterback to throw him the ball. Maybe he will be Justin Jefferson. Another former LSU guy having some contract issues. No Jamar Chase yesterday at the Bengals OTAs. T. Higgins is working through. We knew he wouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
But Jamar, not there. He's wanting a new contract. And the buzz in the NFL is he's not going to sign a new contract, no matter if it's offered to him, until he sees what Justin Jefferson's going to make.
So they're trying to be a duo.
Because he's going to make more than Justin Jefferson in his mind.
Oh, I see. So he wants to make sure that the ducks are in a row for him to get as much cash.
If Justin Jefferson gets 5 years, $172 million, then I'll want 5 years, 75 or 73. Yeah. So no Jamar, no T. Higgins there at Bengals OTAs. These are voluntary. You have to be there. Camps don't start until June the 11th, but that news yesterday from the NFL. I just mentioned Johnston RV. They also bring you our mental health minute every day, and I'm going to use a football story today as our mental health minute. Stetson Bennett is back at OTAs with the Los Angeles Rams. He missed all of last year with an undisclosed mental health issue. And that's why the 2-time national championship quarterback from Georgia wasn't around the Rams for most of the season last year. He is back after getting treatment for that undisclosed mental health issue, and he is back with a team where he is going to likely compete and end up being number 3 quarterback behind Matt Stafford, Jimmy Garoppolo, and then Stetson Bennett. We've been talking all May, Mental Health Month, about seeking treatment, being open about your mental health struggles. And this is a case of it working for Stetson Bennett. He went to team officials, has dealt with the issue, and he's now back with the team. We encourage any of you to do the same, and that's brought to you by our friends at Johnston RV Center, where they have the competitive financing and everything with Johnston RV. They bring you our Mental Health Minute every day on the show during the month of May, and we appreciate them so much more. They're teaming up with LT with some great podcasts about mental health as we speak. And you can check out our friends at Johnston RV, johnstonrvcenter.com, johnstonrvcenter.com. One more. I'm going to put this in the mental health category as well. What were you doing when you were 12 years old? Tell me about you at 12.
Oh, this will be fun. Well, my mom made me pasta vodka for my birthday meal. I remember that. And I was playing basketball. I was actually in a play called The Little Princess, and I was a little princess.
At age 12.
At age 12.
So you got the lead part?
Yeah, I got a lead role. I was playing basketball.
You ever get a silver spoon feeling here with her?
No.
A lead role in
I
Little
worked
Princess?
for that.
Yeah.
I had to talk in an English accent the whole time.
Oh,
and I was actually.
Give me an example.
What's the
Oh
line?
my goodness! Y'all put me on the
Here,
spot with this last time.
I'll
So
get you
more-
going.
yeah,
I'll get you going. Pip pip governor.
Oh, what the heck was that?
That's isn't that British?
Nope.
Pip pip governor.
Nope.
That's like
Nope.
I don't know what that is.
That's a chimney sweep.
Okay, wait, hold on. I need to like do it off the mic for a second. Here, chat about something real quick.
I got nothing to chat about.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
on
well,
you.
you
Work
always have.
through it here.
I actually had to learn French, a line of French because of it. So I'll say that. No c'est maman qui me l'a pris, elle était français, ne parle en français.
You're filibustering.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
You remember that from 12?
Yeah, because I had to memorize it.
We can't get
hello.
Brown through one Spanish class. She remembers that from 12.
This is a Yeti cup, and it was the Players where I attended back in April.
That's pretty good.
I think my pip pip governor is
Pip
better
Pip
than that.
Governor.
Yeah.
Jim Dunaway.
That is good. Do pip pip governor
Pip
again.
Pip.
Very
The-
calming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have lowered your volume quite a
Yes,
bit.
I feel like British people they're not very exclamatory with what they're saying.
You never watched British Parliament on TV?
No.
A lot of screaming. there.
Really?
Yeah.
That kind of surprises me.
It's kind screaming.
I can't take British people seriously. I really
What?
can't. Like, because of their accents, I can't take them seriously. When I went to London, I was like, are you like yelling at someone to get out of the way? You're like, get out the way. I'm like, that kind of sounds funny.
Y'all ain't got no pizza? Y'all ain't got
The
queso?
food was horrible, though.
Well, I bring it up. 12 years old. What were you doing? Had you started your first rock band yet?
My first rock band at 12 years old, yes.
So awesome.
We had 16 names. I can remember. We never settled on a name, but that's when we first. Actually, it was crazy. My wife for Father's Day, even though it hadn't happened yet, we found a bunch of old tapes, and we have converted them into MP4s, so I can see my first performance at the pep rally with my Superman shirt and really out of tune singing. So I got like 4 or 5 performances. So that was probably 13. Sorry if I
13.
went too long. What were you doing at 12, Mr. Dunaway?
No. I wasn't. But a young lady named Lexi Thompson announced her retirement yesterday. And I don't know if it's for mental health reasons. She's playing in her 18th Women's U.S.
Crazy.
Open. And she's only 29. She's only 29. She's about
Incredible.
to play in her 18th Women's U.S. Open. And she played in her first one when she was 12 years old. And Lexi announced her retirement at the end of the year coming up. 29, and she's retiring already. Now, we see this all the time with some Olympic sports,
Yeah.
right? That, some of the Olympians or the gymnasts
Especially gymnasts.
are there when they're
Mhm.
14, 16,
Yeah.
17 years old.
And that's really their prime, too, considering.
That's right. And it's just, here she is at 29 when I go back mentally in my head, I'm 28 years old.
Okay.
That was the prime of my life, in my opinion. I was 28. So mentally, I'm always 28 years
Yeah.
old. Like you guys make fun of the way I act or anything. I act the way I did when I was 28. I will always be 28 in my head.
Yeah.
Though my body is not 28 anymore.
Mentally.
I'm mentally 28.
28.
She's 29 and she's retiring now.
Especially with golf, that's usually when you're getting into your groove and you've matured and you are
That's right.
now
This-
looking at your prime of your career.
That's right. 29 to 39 should be the prime of her
Yeah.
career, and she's retiring now.
I mean, good for her, but I do think golf is one of those sports, and I've been around it most of my life with my brother playing in college and obviously Mikey playing. But the mental toll it takes is incredible because it's such an individualistic game, but then you also have the team aspect and the pressure. The Auburn, Jackson, how do you say his last name?
The kid who hit the putt yesterday?
Yeah, Jackson, he's
Koiven.
Yeah. I can't imagine the pressure that they're under, and it's so finicky. Golf is such a game of inches, centimeters, really, and you could do everything right and double bogey.
Here is that putt yesterday, by the way. For you Auburn fans, this afternoon, 4:30, playing for a national championship, Jackson Koiven, the young freshman. In fact, he won basically the college golf Heisman as a freshman. The last freshman to do that in 2012 was Alabama's Justin Thomas. And by the way, JT's doing pretty good on the professional tour, so this guy's got a great future.
Ricky Fowler on that list.
So for the first time in program history, the Auburn Tigers will play for a national championship in men's golf. They do it this afternoon against Florida State. You can watch it on the Golf Channel or Peacock at around 4:30. But a young freshman leading the way yesterday as they used extra holes.
Yeah, 21.
21 holes. They used extra holes as they went on and defeated, who was it yesterday? Virginia and Ohio State. So they won the quarters and the semis yesterday to play for the national championship today against Florida State. And you'll get that on the Golf Channel and on Peacock. When we come back to Destin, and we'll talk roster. How important are walk-ons in your head? And do you think rosters should be limited in college football? We'll talk about that and more news from SEC meetings going on in Destin as the show continues, being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. New York Butcher Shop, where I went by, like we said last week, to get a Boston butt. They cooked it up for me. My son and I had it all weekend long on Memorial Day weekend. New York Butcher Shop there for you. Great locations in Cahaba Heights and Greystone. Swing by there. The great choice of specialty items, the fresh meats. They got deli sandwiches for lunch. And they'll even cook it for you, too, like the Boston butt when it comes to a big holiday season. Great sides and anything. NewYorkButcher.com, NewYorkButcher.com, or stop by and see them. Cahaba Heights and Greystone. This is The Next Round.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at The Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hey, don't forget, Stallions wrap up their home season this Saturday, Protective Stadium, 1 o'clock against Michigan, 2 playoff teams here. Stallions trying to, be healthy for the playoffs, which are the next week. Birmingham's already in the conference championship game, already hosting that at Protective Stadium. Get your tickets, theufl.com, theufl.com, and go enjoy the Birmingham Stallions. One more home game in the regular season. Try to finish this thing up 9-1, and then host that playoff game and try to go win a championship again with Skip and the guys, the Birmingham Stallions, theufl.com, as they roll this Saturday. Jim Dunaway, Emily Grace McWhorter, Rockstar in now with us. Rocky, welcome in. I know you had a little medical thing this morning. Glad to have you in, supporting the old Detroit Lions T-shirt there.
Yeah.
Everything's okay, though? You're good?
I got a bone spur in my heel.
Oh, no.
It is so funny you say that. One of my dear friends, Tony, was in a boot off of a bone spur in his heel for a month.
Yeah,
You're going to avoid the bone? You're going to avoid the boot?
I was given 2 steroid shots to relieve the pain, and I was like, it's super bad in the mornings when you first step out of bed, and it's like both heels, like somebody shot me with a gun, and there was a right heel, and they said the left one after the X-ray, there's a bit of problem in there with the right foot, so I got the bone spur, and so I got to try some treatment, but yeah, I saw probably 7 doctors this morning. So going to the doctor these days, you got to carve out about 2.5 hours.
Wow.
It took a long time, but I'm glad I went.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Yeah. No Ryan, no Lance today. Ryan's at a charity golf tournament. Lance is in Nashville representing us one more day at the On3 Elite thing. Lunsford, Forrester, Tyler on the back row, Melton, and Lunsford also putting together the old Meltdown, which rolls today at 2 o'clock. Remember to like and subscribe. That is our pop culture podcast. Don't forget the Pennant Grace, which was live yesterday, right after the show. You can go back and rewatch that. Where do you get the Pennant Grace?
You can get on Disrupt the Media channel. You can get it on Twitter at the Pennant Grace or X, as well as on Instagram.
Yep. And then, of course, Uncorked with Taylor Korn. She reacts to life and sports and everything that goes on in her brain. A European version of Uncorked available for you online, and then she's back handling our command center for social media tomorrow. You'll meet our intern, Anne-Marie, in about 45 minutes when she gives us our 4 downs. Justin Hokinson with us at 10:30 from On3 Sports Auburn Live. We'll talk about Auburn's basketball roster after the addition of Miles Kelly completing that. He thinks they're maybe the most versatile roster in Bruce Pearl's time at Auburn. So we'll talk about that and some Auburn football with Hoke coming up. It is a big day for you Alabama fans. If you missed it to start the show, it is deadline day for the NBA draft. So today's the day we find out. Is Mark Sears and Jaron Stevenson going to stay in the draft, or are they coming back to Alabama? Most people think if they come back to Alabama, Alabama will start the year out number 1 or number 2 in the preseason rankings. So big day today for Alabama basketball. The roster's fine without them.
Yep.
Better with them.
Agreed.
So we'll find out today about Mark Sears and Jaron Stevenson. Deadline tonight, midnight, to stay or come back to college from the NBA draft. Bronny James already making the decision earlier today, LeBron's son, to stay in the NBA draft. SEC meetings continuing in Destin. The football coaches were there yesterday and talking. We want to talk about roster limits and limitations because new rules now is there's no limitations to scholarships or rosters. So there's discussion about maybe putting a limit on them.
Right.
Since you're going to have to pay players now.
Yeah.
And some people are saying the rosters will be smaller.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, in the SEC, there is a rule that's longstanding. I think it goes back to the 1970s. You have 85 scholarship players. You can dress as many players as you want at home, all your walk-ons. But when you go to road games, you only have 70. You only take 70 players on the road. So if you look at road games, your team's got 70 over there, and the home team will have like 110.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of walk-ons and guys dressed out. But 70 on the traveling squad. Some people have said, hey, 70 should be the number.
Oof.
Coaches were talking yesterday with the same excitement or disenchantment as you just shared there. Some say just make it 85. All the scholarship players. Should you get rid of walk-ons? Let's hear from some of the coaches. Rockstar, if you'll first give me cut number 6, Steve Sarkisian, new to the league. So he had his first experience as a head coach at SEC meetings in Destin yesterday. And from our friends at Dog Nation who provided this video, Sark gets asked about the potential of going to just an 85-man roster. Here's Sark.
Sark, can you safely and effectively go with an 85-man roster?
Well, I mean, I think that's the challenge of that is adjusting, right? And I've said this all along, like we're in this era of college football where we have to continually adapt. It's from the moment I got this job at Texas, we were still almost operating under the old ways. Mm-hmm. And here comes the transfer portal. Here comes NIL. Here comes conference realignment. Now here comes a new settlement. Now there's talk of potential roster size being reduced. But through it all, you have to adapt, right? And if we don't adapt, we aren't going to be here, right? And so I think at the end, if that's the number, that's the number. We have to adapt, we have to adjust, and we got to figure out the best way to put our players in the best position to have success.
Okay, got to adapt. And like he said, he's adapted a lot, as all these coaches who've been on the job for the last 5 years have. When he got to Texas, it was still the old school way of doing things. And then all of a sudden, there's NIL. And then Texas is going to the SEC, and he has to deal with that for 2 years. And then you've got this, you've got that going on. More coaches, and then we'll get a reaction.
Okay.
Rockstar, if you'll give me cut number 4, Lane Kiffin yesterday, getting asked about potentially reducing the roster sizes. Because when you say no roster limits, in your head, you're thinking, like if you're a baseball coach, you're like, oh, okay, I can I don't have to give 11.2 scholarships anymore. I can give everybody a scholarship if we have enough money.
Yeah.
But in football, where you've got 85 scholarships, there's discussion of not having that many scholarships anymore, since the school is going to have to pay NIL money now, or money to the players to play. Here's Lane Kiffin on the potential of reducing roster sizes.
Well, I think if it was in the reduction category, I think there's some safety issues there. You know, how do you practice? How do you play? Are the numbers as low as to where you've got to overplay players? You know, maybe in some games where you hadn't in the past. So there are some very big safety concerns in the ability to practice well enough to develop young players also, in order to have enough. Because again, this is not, you know, again, we want to be like the NFL some ways, but not other ways. So you want to make these limits, but we don't have practice squads. We don't have the ability, you know, to have players to just bring in each week and try them out and add players when there's injuries. So it's really complicated.
Yeah, great point there by Lane, because in the NFL, there's a 53-man roster.
Right.
But then there's also a practice squad. And then there's also every other person in America that at some point, if my practice squad or my 53-man roster is depleted a little bit, I can go try out, you know, Jim Dunaway, who retired from the Panthers last year, and maybe he can fill my slot. You can't just go get Jim Dunaway, who's now laying bricks in Birmingham, Alabama, to come join the team at Ole Miss.
Right. It's interesting, and I think one thing that's being called into question is the safety of it, because, you know, what are you going to do? And how, realistically, in your opinion, what would a practice look like? Would you have, with 85 players, how would that work?
Well, we're moving to less contact anyway.
Right.
85 is a good number for me.
For you.
Yeah.
So what is it right now? It's 115, 110. So you're fine with going down to 85.
Well, you got 85 scholarships anyway, right?
Right.
There's going to be no limit, I guess, but 85 is a good number. But we'll talk about walk-ons in a second, and maybe the value and the importance of walk-ons just in our society.
Yeah.
But 85 seems like a good number, but there's going to have to be some leeway because of injuries and player safety and everything, because there is a 53-man roster in paid professional football, but there's also paid practice squad, so that's going to increase you up a certain amount anyway.
Right, and what's going to happen to the conferences or the schools that can't pay? How is that going to look? Are some schools going to be limited and some aren't going to be limited? Or I guess that's all being discussed.
That's why their meeting went long yesterday.
Yeah.
Their meeting went past their end time yesterday with the coaches, because they were discussing so many things. The limit is, you know, other sports are thinking about, maybe we can get full scholarships now for our baseball roster or our softball roster, where we don't have to, you know, give out point scholarships. Yeah. In football, maybe the reduction is going on. Hunter says you'd go get JPW to be the practice quarterback again. For those that don't know, John Parker Wilson, Nick Saban's first quarterback, he inherited at Alabama. For a while, got called out to go in quarterback practice squad against him after he'd left the pros. There'd be some creativity that'd have to happen. Kalen DeBoer, the Alabama coach, cut 2 Rockstar, had a chance to discuss scholarship limits. Now, this just isn't roster. This is scholarship limits.
Okay.
And what that could look like. 85 is the number now. Could it go higher? Could you end up increasing the number of scholarships if you had a big recruiting class? For those that are not old enough, back before the scholarship limit, Bear Bryant, longtime legendary Alabama coach, was infamous for going and signing as many players as he can, not just because of the ones he wanted. He knew that maybe Georgia or Auburn wanted you, and he would go try to sign you just so Georgia and Auburn wouldn't get you. So he had great 2s and 3s in his heyday at Alabama. Here's Kalen DeBoer on the changes to scholarship limits.
What was your initial reaction when you heard about maybe switching out for the scholarship limits? And do you have a handle on whether it means you could have more scholarship players or much smaller roster? Do you have any kind of handle on how that could look?
I really don't. I really don't have a handle, and I know I was waiting for. I'm one that never overreacts to anything, whether it's going to be in favor or something that's not going to favor maybe how I feel. I really am never going to overreact, and I want to kind of see what happens here and be a part of whatever change needs to happen to make our game better when I can. But just understanding the facts and what we have control over, what we don't have control over is, certainly something I know it's going to be discussed a lot today.
Yeah. So they're trying to find out what it's going to be. A lot of people posturing. Lane said the magic word, player health. That always gets your attention.
Buzzword. Yep.
You have a thought on walk-ons, though.
I do.
Because walk-ons, the potential of walk-ons being eliminated is being discussed, and a lot of people are pushing back.
Yes.
Pushing back about that. So
Yes.
you got a thought about walk-ons.
Well,
What do you
and
think about walk-ons and how important they are?
Speaking of Clemson, Dabo was a walk-on, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he was.
Will Muschamp, he was a walk-on. And I'm going to read a few walk-ons.
I think for recent Alabama history, I think was Forster Javier Arenas. Was he a walk-on? Oh, I know Rashad was. Defensive back who was big on the early 2000s, the 2009 team, I believe. Wasn't Rashad a walk-on as well?
Rashad might have been. I don't think Javier was.
You don't think Javier was? Alabama's had some
Fact check it.
walk-ons that have
Gone to do great things in the
contributed
NFL.
really big, yeah.
So Stetson Bennett, Baker Mayfield, Loud McConkey, Rodrigo Blankenship, Brandon Burlsworth, of course, Jason Duffner, I did not know that, J.J. Watt, and Scottie Pippen, all walk-ons.
All walk-ons.
And Georgia is represented on that list a little more, but it's really interesting because I think that's the very essence of college sports. And to me, if I'm a coach, I want walk-ons, one, to set an example to my scholarship players that hard work pays off, because walk-ons, they're not told since they were in 6th grade you're going to be a 5-star and you're going to have your pick of SEC schools. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing by any means, but you need that balance. And without walk-ons, you're taking away such an integral part of college sports. And then that hope that you can make an impact on your team, even though you didn't start there. And I think that's really sad that that option is even being discussed right now.
The walk-ons to me, Rashad Johnson, thank you. Will Lowry, walk-on, thank you. Hunter and Tyler did one. Levi Wallace, says Caleb. Walk-ons are so important.
Yeah.
Because it's like the script of Rudy. It's everything that's good about college athletics.
Exactly.
It's the normal student.
Yep.
It's the 12th man at Texas A&M. It's the normal student who gets to play with the 5-star recruits.
Through hard work, determination, they put themselves in a position to do that. And that's the dream. That's what you want to be able to know. If I put my nose down and I work hard enough, I have an option to walk on to this golf team, to walk on to the football team, and be amongst those people. And I think the value they add of knowing what it took to get there for them specifically. I'm not saying the 5 stars or 4 stars, all those kids, the scholarship players didn't work hard. They worked equally as hard, but there's a different mindset that you have when you're a walk on. And I think it's irreplaceable.
Yeah, it's almost it almost is the fabric of your team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those walk-ons can create a culture.
Right.
And if and you see this sometimes with championship teams, the 5-star guys, the big stars on the team, really buy into the walk-ons.
Mm-hmm.
They really celebrate them. They really encourage them. Like at the end of a basketball game, when they clear the benches and those guys get in, you see the starters who are all fired up when some guy who looks like he should be, over at the Pike House drains a 3 in front of a sold out crowd to end a big win.
Yep.
And those guys are all cheering, and they see how hard those guys guard them and work them in practice, they get really excited for them. That's such a good part of college. I'd hate to see the walk-ons eliminated.
I would too. And speaking of that exact player, one of my close friends, his brother, his name is Reed Lovelace. He's a walk-on at OU on their basketball team. And seeing his journey in his Sooners uniform has been incredible. And though that team loves him, the student section, the fans, they love him. And when he gets in a game, it is that starting five is watching Reed Lovelace.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to watch. And the support and just, like you said, the culture that's built around those kids, it just would be such a shame to see that fall to the wayside in a decision like this.
Rashad Johnson, Rusty says, went on to be a permanent captain, he believes. Montario, Kevin Green, all-time sack leader for a while in the NFL. Walked on at Auburn, according to him. All right, so roster limits, a big discussion yesterday at the SEC meetings down there in Destin. Justin Hokinson, part of the next segment coming up, the show being brought to you in part by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them are our friends at Woodhouse.
Yes.
Woodhouse, you've been there many times.
I love
Little
it.
G, Little T goes there occasionally, gets a good massage there. Relaxing place at the summit here. You'll see contact information, but at Woodhouse, you've been by there. You've looked at the menu, all the variety of things they have.
They have everything under the sun. You can get your nails done there, which I think is awesome. If you don't want to go to a typical nail salon, you can head over to Woodhouse, get your eyebrows done, get a massage, take the day off, and just pamper yourself. It's clean, it's a great atmosphere, and it really is a nice thing to know that you can go to, and you'll have a great experience. All the technicians are awesome that I have dealt with. The front desk girl is amazing. So if you need a gift card, if you want to treat your wife for this summer, for your girlfriend, get her a Woodhouse gift card.
Yeah, Woodhouse Day Spa. And our friends.
Yeah, Rocky knows things.
Yeah. And our friends at Precision Sports Medicine. Rockstar may need Precision Sports pretty soon. I've got rehab today. I'm finally starting physical therapy to get my back
You
right.
excited?
I am not, but
it's going to be a little pain.
You
Good
think?
pain. Well, I'm guessing if it's rehab.
I'm told that there is a chance that some dry needling will eliminate my nerve pain.
Okay.
So
Content.
I've heard it. Yeah, that is content. I've heard it's a little painful, but I think the pain you're experiencing now will pale in comparison.
Well, it can't be content because it's going to be going into my gluteus maximus.
Content.
Yeah, or as I like to call it, my gluteus minimus, because it's not big enough. But I'll be
Son,
dry
you left your
needling
ass in the
later.
car.
Our friends at Precision Sports Medicine can take care of you. Diagnosis, treatment, and through the rehabilitation and physical therapy, they can handle it all for you. Dr. Patterson, my guy down in Alabaster, they've got locations from Jasper to Alabaster and all over the Birmingham metro area. Find the location nearest you, 205-512-3885. 512-3885. Remember, orthopedic care better together. Use that website to get more information. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024 for any tweak, pull, or break in your life. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Back with you on the Next Round. Justin Hokinson in about 5 minutes here. He'll join us to talk about Auburn basketball and football from Auburn Live on 3 Sports. Hemp Hill Services bringing you this part of the show. We're about to do Atlanta Braves dream lineup. She's a big Braves fan. She hosts the Pin of Grace. Emily Grace does. It's a podcast about the Braves in Major League Baseball. And I threw my all-time starting Braves lineup down too. We'll get to that after I tell you Hemp Hill Services can help you this time of year, man. 90s now. Air conditioning goes out. You want it fixed like that. That's when you call our friends at Hemp Hill. 205-229-2090. 229-2090. All I can tell you is they've worked on all of our houses. They're so trustworthy. They can fix it. If you need to replace it, they can do that for you. Just trustworthy folks. Birmingham's trusted them since the 1950s. I believe 1954. Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090. They do plumbing too. So not just heating and cooling, but plumbing as well. It is hard as heck to find a good plumber. They are the good plumber for you. Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090. I'm going to go first, since I'm not the Braves fan.
All right.
But I will tell you that I did grow up listening on radio before all the games were on TV with my pop. He was a big baseball guy, and we would be able to get the Atlanta station, WSB, at night, and we'd sit on the porch in night games when I was little bitty. He called me Shorty, and we'd listen to the games. They had a guy named Ralph Garr. Phil Necro was a pitcher. Of course, Hank Aaron was playing back then. The 70s. You do the throwback uniforms now from the 70s that are very popular. These were their uniforms back when I was a kid and listening on my front porch there in Alabaster with my pops. And so you're going to get a little of just some of my favorite players in my Braves lineup. These may not be the greatest, like the bottom of my lineup. Not going to be the greatest of the Braves. I just like these guys, so I put them in my lineup. Here's my Braves all-time lineup. I'm going to lead off with Andrew Jones, center fielder, batting first. Should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm going to go recent. I'm going to go Freddie Freeman, hitting second, playing first base. Hank Aaron, the Hammer, hitting third in right field. Eddie Matthews is going to be my designated hitter. Old school, really good stick there. Could also platoon at third base if needed. Del Murphy is going to be my left fielder. I put him out left. Chipper at third. And then here's where the lineup, probably you can pitch around it if you need to. If you just get through the top six, you probably get some outs here. But I always loved Javi Lopez. He was my favorite catcher in Braves history. I liked the little Brian McCann, but I was a Javi Lopez guy. And you guys are already hating on number 8 and number 9. But these are my two favorite Braves middle infielders. Jeff Blauser at shortstop and Glenn Hubbard at second base. Who didn't like Glenn freaking Hubbard back in the day? That guy looked like he had spit some beech nut between your eyes and looked like he could go have a beer or could chop down a tree with an axe. Little Glenn Hubbard is my second baseman, and John Smoltz is my pitcher.
Okay.
Yeah, no Raphael Belliard there, Smuff, for me. What about you? You're the Braves fan.
I'm the Braves fan. I didn't make a graphic, though.
You're not even old enough to get back to the Superstation, though, so you're going to miss some of the.
Well, but I might not. I think I have a great mix, and I think you guys will be happy with it.
Okay,
all right.
Let's see.
First base. I don't have a graphic, so you're going to have to look at me.
Oh, you don't have a graphic?
No.
Okay.
I apologize.
Okay.
We didn't show my second graphic, so it's okay. It'll even out.
We can get back to it.
Okay. All right. First base, I've got Freddie.
Leading off, or we're just going around the horn here?
I'm just going around the horn.
Okay, first base is Freddie Freeman, okay?
Then I've got Ozzie, second base.
Yeah, I told Forrester, I said, people in the chat are going to say, why didn't you go Ozzie instead of Glenn Hubbard?
That's
Hubbard
just
couldn't
personal favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going at short, Andrelton Simmons.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, I debated on Dansby, but I think Andrelton Simmons was really fun to watch, and he is like my first kind of memory. Chipper at third, obviously. Then we're going to go left field, Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron.
Center field, Andrew Jones.
Andrew.
Right field, Ronald Acuna Jr. Catching, Brian McCann. And pitching, I couldn't pick one. I went Glavine, Smoltz, and Maddox. That's cheating. And then I'm doing, go ahead.
So no Dale Murphy.
No Dale Murphy. I debated. But I landed with Andrew Jones in center field.
No, that's not the debate. The debate is Ronald Acuna. Andrew Jones absolutely belongs there. Hank Aaron absolutely belongs there.
I think Ron Acuna belongs there based on his
Dale
season
Murphy.
last year. Yes. And I don't care. You can look at me whatever. Is Dale Murphy on your list?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That's okay.
Two-time batting champion.
Yeah, and I have Ron Acuna there, and I feel great about it.
Yeah.
But thank you for your concern.
I was just.
No.
I mean, it's a debate. It's a debate worth having.
I did not just start watching the Braves last year, Hunter Hall.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
He meant in the history of time. Bob Horner was a good third baseman for a while.
Yeah.
Played with Murphy in that team back then. Listen, some people were talking. They played golf with Glenn Hubbard. Nice guy. He was a good second baseman. Just back then, shortstops and second basemen didn't hit with power like they do now. Ozzie Albies, I probably should have put in at second base.
I think Ozzie hitting too. He's actually looks to be the leadoff hitter for us right now in Acuna's absence. Most experience in that role.
Jeff Blauser just looked like it could be you or me. We could run out and like the guy down the street. Jeff
hang out with
Blauser.
him.
Yeah. Blauser and Hubbard look like, hey, we're going to play baseball this weekend.
Yeah, like come on out.
Yeah, grab
come
your
to the
glove.
church league.
Grab your glove. We're going down to the park. Justin Hokinson in just a second to talk Auburn sports with us. A couple other things before Justin jumps on with us. Being brought to you today by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City. Man, massive storms rolling through. Was that Monday morning?
I was actually in Miramar,
Yes.
right down the street from the coaches' meetings.
Yeah, so you missed it, man.
I missed it.
Some bad storms rolling through this area. Power was out for a long, long time. And then it finally was restored. And when it was, you maybe walked out and you had some trees down in your neighborhood, maybe some roof damage. Greg will get up on that roof and give you a free, no-cost roof inspection. Not just after storms. Maybe you got an aging roof. Maybe you're just buying a house. Maybe you're about to buy a house. Call Greg, and he'll do that free, no-cost roof inspection. 205-542-3531, or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City, A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Insurance companies trust him. That is so important when you're trying to file a case. He is local. He's got a lot of his family members on crews there. It's family-owned company. That helps you out. That means they're not some fly-by-night crew there. He knows the crews when they come out and work. You see a young lady right there. Her home got replaced with a storm restoration roof. You can do that. Storm damage, aging roofs, or just that roof inspection, absolutely free. Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531. Auburn Live on 3 Sports, one of the more popular on 3 sites out there that Justin Hokinson has helped build up. Hoke joins us now. Welcome back to the show, Hoke. How are you, man?
Good, man. What's going on? How was Nashville?
Nashville was good. It was quick. It was good. I think I was in Nashville for 12 hours. 7 hours was sleep, and then I went over, did the show, ate lunch at the pharmacy, and drove back. So nice. LT got more time in Nashville than I did.
Clearly.
My question to start with you is Miles Kelly, because when he made that commitment to come to Auburn, you sort of closed the door. That's the end of the roster. So what is Auburn's roster now moving into the upcoming basketball season?
Yeah, I think they're sitting at 12 scholarship players. Obviously, you can have 13, but that's That's nothing new for Bruce. That's something he's done pretty much every year. He leaves that last spot open, and maybe he'll add a walk-on or whatever it might be. But yeah, that should do it. I mean, you got Miles Kelly, who that's a really big addition. Not only because he's a good player and he fits a need sort of that at 2 or 3 position, but he gives you a lot of versatility there. Chad Baker-Mazzaro is a player that played well, but obviously had his inconsistencies in terms of off the court and emotions on the court, and it's something that they got to work on with him. And so Miles Kelly, I think, provides a good balance to that, some competition for Chad at the 3, and he'll also provide some competition for Denver at the 2. So I think his versatility is nice. And then, of course, you got J.P. Pegues at the point guard, who will be your point guard, Jaheim Hudson, who you brought in from SMU, who will compete with Chaney Johnson at the power forward. And then you've got Tahad Pettiford and Ja'Kai Howard coming from high school. So you had 5 guys. And, I mean, that pretty much sets it. I think it's probably the most versatile roster that Bruce has had. Last year was really deep. You had 2 solid, complete lineups, 1 through 5. You had 2 of those. I think this roster is going to be very similar, but I think there's even a little bit more versatility because Denver can play 1 or 2. Miles Kelly could play 2 or 3. Chaney could play 3 or 4. Janai could play 4 or 5. Tahad could play 1 or 2. There's just a lot of guys that could go between 2 positions depending on how rotations want to work. And so it's a talented roster yet again, and there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of options. I think outside of J.P. Pegues at the 1 and Janai starting at the 5, there's a bunch of intrigue this offseason in terms of position battles, I think, in the middle of that lineup.
Hoke, you kind of answered my question. I was going to ask you what that starting 5 and bench rotations would look like, but I'm going to pivot a little bit to this is going to be the most experienced roster, possibly in college basketball, and a super old roster with 10 returning seniors. How does it translate on the court to make sure that there's success with the tools that you have that's up to Bruce Pearl's standard and the Auburn standard?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, a couple of years ago, they had the youngest team in college basketball, and now here they are, and they're going to have one of the oldest teams in college basketball. I mean, a bunch of experience. I mean, Dylan and Chris have been around forever. Janai's numbers when he finishes his career, his college numbers, are going to be some of the most impressive numbers in the history of college basketball. And I'm not even kidding. In terms of the total points, the total rebounds, the total blocks, I don't know it off the top of my head, but I remember seeing it a few weeks ago. But he is going to be one of a handful of college players ever to have a certain grouping of points, rebounds, blocks, even some assists in there. I mean, his numbers are going to be crazy just because he's going to play for so long. But yeah, I mean, there's just guys. Denver Jones has played a ton of basketball. Pegues has played a ton of basketball. There's just going to be a lot of experience. I think they're looking at maybe 10 seniors. There's a couple of guys that could play another year because of COVID, like Jaheim Hudson. This will be his 4th year, but he could play another year. Miles Kelly could play another year. Although I don't expect Miles Kelly to be there 2 years, but yeah, it's going to be a crazy experienced team. And I'm interested to see sort of how that translates, because one of the things that I think at times the way Auburn plays, they get up and down so much. And so if they can sort of add the experience element, like last year against Yale, if they could have had a little bit more composure down the stretch and a little bit more experience and made some smarter plays, I think they win that game. Like they just threw that game away. So I think the experience is going to be massive. The SEC's loaded, right? Like we thought it was loaded this year. It's going to be even more so this coming year. So that experience should pay dividends. Now, looking ahead, it's going to create a crazy offseason next year. I mean, the roster turnover next year for Auburn is going to be nuts. But I think it's a situation where the staff looked at it and said, we'll deal with that on the other side. We got an opportunity to bring back Janai, bring back Dylan, add a couple of pieces, and make another run for a championship. Let's do it, and we'll deal with the next season turnover because there's going to be a lot of it next year. We'll deal with that next year, but you can't pass up an opportunity to make a run. And if that means bringing back Dylan, Janai, Chris, all these guys, then that's what you got to do to try to win a championship.
We talked about the additions and Jaheim Hudson, Miles Kelly, and JP, and they did plug some holes. But to you, in your opinion, what is still the biggest need for Auburn going into the season?
Ooh, well, I think, man, I would say sort of figuring out the backup point guard situation. Although I think they feel really comfortable with Denver Jones a couple rotations a game. Like, I think J.P. Pegues is going to be your guy. I think probably by the time SEC play goes, he's going to be a guy that's going to be playing 24 minutes a game or maybe more. I think it's figuring out what do the rotations behind him look like when it comes to SEC play. Can you get 2 rotations from Denver and maybe one from Tahad or something, and that's all you need? So I think that'll be interesting to sort of see how that plays out. But I think they're really comfortable with letting Denver have the ball in his hands some during the game and play some point. So that'll be sort of interesting to see maybe how that develops. The 3 positions really interesting, like in terms of how that develops. You got Miles Kelly's going to be in there, Chad Baker-Mazzaro. You bring back Chris Moore, who is he the most talented? No, but there's nothing he doesn't know about what to do on both ends of the floor. And then you've got Ja'Kai Howard, who's an unbelievably athletic freshman coming in. And then you got Chaney even maybe getting some minutes there. So that small forward wing combo guard position is going to be crowded. So that's going to be interesting to watch as well. But they don't need anything roster-wise. Like, they've got the pieces to make another run as deep as they want to go. I think they've got every piece you need to win a championship in the SEC, to make the Final Four. They've got point guard play. They're going to have pretty good shooting. They're going to have length. They're going to have rebounding. You got an All-American center. You've got all the pieces. It's just a matter of fitting them all together, and I think figuring out sort of that backup point guard position, and when Denver goes there, okay, who's playing too, and sort of how it all works together. But the pieces are there, in my opinion.
Okay, Alabama announced yesterday Purdue is official. We'd heard that for a while, that Alabama and Purdue, the date was going to be set in that return game from them playing last year. And there's been some scheduling nuggets dropped from Alabama, but there's been a lot of intrigue about Auburn's schedule improving difficult-wise in the non-conference play. Is that a true statement? Have you heard some rumblings of some games coming up? And then I want to ask you about the ACC Challenge. Any thoughts on who Auburn may get in that challenge? Because a lot of people are trying to pair up Alabama and Auburn with some of the elite teams in that ACC-SEC Challenge. Talk schedule with me a little bit.
Well, yeah, so we talked to Bruce, I guess last Monday at his golf tournament, the Children's Harbor Golf Tournament, and he straight up said it's going to be the toughest non-conference schedule they've had under him in his tenure. I think probably the toughest one was the Final Four year. They played Washington that year. They went to NC State that year. They played UAB on a neutral floor. And then, of course, they played Maui. They played Xavier, Arizona, and Duke and Maui. So that was a pretty good one. I think this one's shaping up. They're already playing in Maui. So, like, you've got a pretty good chance of playing either North Carolina or UConn, at least one of those among your 3 games out there. And there's some other good teams, Michigan State, Memphis, and some others. So you got that tournament.
Yeah, you just say Maui, and you know you've got a couple of good games in Maui, right?
For sure. You got 3 games guaranteed, and UConn and North Carolina are out there. You got to think one of them is going to be against one of those, right? So you got Maui. I wrote last Monday when I wrote Bruce's comments, I told our subscribers at Auburn Live that I've heard that they are trying to schedule Purdue as well. In Birmingham. I think that's something that could happen. I know that they are trying to schedule Houston in Houston, the Toyota Center, not at Houston. It'd be like where the Rockets play. Not done. Don't know if it'll get done, but I know they're trying to make that happen. And then you've got the Hoops Giving game in Atlanta that they've played in the past few years. They're going to play in that game. Who they're going to play, I'm not sure yet. I originally wrote and heard that NC State, but I think NC State may have backed out. I've heard another team that's going to take their place potentially, but that's not done yet. But could be a. I mean, the team that they could play there, I've seen pop up on some preseason top 25s. So you got those 3, and then you've got the ACC SEC Challenge, which will be interesting. I had heard rumblings that Auburn was going to push to try to get Duke there. I don't think that's going to happen. I've heard Clemson. I've heard Miami. I've heard maybe NC State, but NC State, I don't know. Since they kind of backed out of Atlanta, I'm not sure if that'll happen in the challenge. But I think Clemson and Miami are potentials there. I'd be curious to see where those games are. I think Miami and Clemson both went on the road last year, so it could be a road game for Auburn. But yeah, I mean, between Maui and if you can land Purdue and Birmingham, and you can get Houston potentially settled, and then you toss in the challenge, and then you toss in the Hoops Giving game. Yeah, it'll be a really, really challenging non-conference schedule, and it'll be an Auburn team that I think is capable of being competitive and with that schedule and winning some games.
Justin Hokinson, Auburn Live. He's got the Auburn Live show. You see that promoted right over his shoulder there. You can get everything on 3 Sports Auburn Live with Justin Hokinson there. One more question before you go, Hoke, on the JohnsonRVCenter.com hotline. As the SEC meetings continue in Destin, is there one storyline from an Auburn perspective you're watching down there, or is it just the big topics that everyone's talking about, the NILs, the collectives, and the settlement coming out of Congress?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Destin meetings is kind of not something I get super interested in. The NIL stuff is interesting only because of sort of how Freeze has gone about that. And so, hearing maybe Sankey talk about trying to slow down on getting a cap for teams and things like that, that's probably the thing that most interests me, because I think Hugh Freeze is very I think he is very much like, he does not want to keep being a fundraiser. And so I just sort of watch the NIL landscape and wonder when it's going to change, because I think Hugh Freeze is counting the days on when, the collective comes in house, or when it becomes a revenue sharing thing for the players and he doesn't have to go fundraise. He does not want to do that. He doesn't like it. And so that's probably from an Auburn perspective what I watch. And if I were an Auburn fan, I would just pay attention to the NIL and when you can maybe have to do less fundraising and when maybe more of it's brought in-house. Because I think Freeze he wants players to be paid. I think a lot of these coaches understand that. They appreciate the market and they want the player to get something for obviously what they're worth. But they do not like the fundraising, especially, Freeze. He does not want to go out there and fundraise. So the sooner he can stop doing that, and stop begging for money and every offseason go into these boosters and going, all right, guys, I need X amount of millions of dollars to figure out the roster. That is not what they want to be doing. So the quicker that is phased out and you have a little bit more set way of these players getting paid, I think the better for specifically Hugh Freeze, because that's going to wear those guys down. Another year of it, okay, but man, I mean, somebody like Freeze, if you told him he had to do what he's doing now for 5 more years and before anything would change, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he'd say to that. I don't think he'd be really thrilled to that. So I just sort of watch it from that perspective.
Need a light at the end of the tunnel for sure. Justin Hokinson,
yes.
Auburn Live on 3 Sports. Go follow, like, and subscribe, all their stuff there. Hoke, a friend of the show. We always appreciate it, man. Have a good day. It was good catching up roster-wise with Auburn basketball.
All right. See you guys. Thanks, man.
All right.
Bye.
Justin Hokinson there on the JohnsonRVCenter.com hotline. The show being brought to you in part today as well by our friends at Way to Wellness. I mentioned earlier, our friends at Way to Wellness can help you get some numbers under control. If you're moving deeper into life, into the 30s and 40s, maybe you start to worry about cholesterol and blood pressure a little bit, or maybe you do want to jumpstart that weight loss. Male or female, our customers, our viewers have gone down there. I see you when I go by Way to Wellness in there, and you say, thanks for turning me on to Leslie and her board certified team. And I'm like, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad I could help you out. Way to Wellness. They can help you lose weight. They can help you control some vital numbers through your diet. It's a great way to just feel better about yourself. Just find out what it's about by going to their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com, and they've got a free consultation. No money out of pocket to go talk to Leslie and her board-certified team. No contract, no sign-up fees. That first consultation is free. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. When we come back, we'll do 4 downs. You'll meet our intern, Anne-Marie, who will tell you what school she represents, and she'll come in here and read our 4 downs for us. She's got that prepared for us. Last night, Braves beat the Nationals.
Yes, 2-0.
2-0. What was the key?
Azuna from the Braves.
Yeah, Max Fried pitched well as well.
Max Fried.
They go again tonight, 6:20 on ESPN Plus. If you want to watch that one, do you know how many games back the Braves are right now?
6.
6 games back. You know whose fault it's not?
Who, Dunaway?
It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
We really? We are having such a good show together. We are just jiving. We are having a good time. Do we really want to take this route?
No, it's just not my fault. I mean, it wasn't a landmine. I picked the Dodgers to win the World Series.
Well, I'm going to keep it simple.
Okay. The Pennant Grace, you can go watch Josh and Emily Grace weekly, bi-weekly, sometimes an emergency show when happens, all right there at Disrupt the Media on YouTube. All right, 4 downs when we come back. This is the next round.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Stallions fans, your undefeated Birmingham Stallions are back at Protective Stadium this Saturday at 7 p.m. The Stallions take on the Houston Roughnecks for Hats Off to Heroes. Fans who purchase our Hats Off to Heroes ticket package will receive an exclusive camo hat. With only 2 home games left this season, don't miss your chance to cheer on your Birmingham Stallions. Let's pack Protective, Birmingham. Tickets start at just $10 and are available at theufl.com. That's theufl.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Back with you on the Next Round. I don't know how many interns ended up working for our show over the years, Rockstar. This is Anne Marie Lessig. We'll get details about her in a second. Emily Grace was never an intern with us.
I was not.
Lunsford was an intern with the Round Table back in the days, right?
Lunsford was my intern for the Round Table back in 2007, 2008. Tyler was an intern with us.
Tyler was an intern up here, and we started asking ourselves, hey, when does Tyler's internship end? And people were like 4 months ago. He just keeps showing up.
Yeah, his warranty hadn't worn out yet.
Yeah.
So we got a couple months on his warranty.
So he hung around until he started getting money.
Smart. He's a businessman.
Forrester was not an intern with us. He was an intern with Letterman. Melton, I don't know if he ever interned with anybody. Not with me.
I think he probably did the other place, to kind of get your foot in the door and to kind of like, well, this guy kind of works hard. Let's pay him nothing.
Yeah. By the way, Justin Hokinson was just with us.
Yeah.
Interned with Brown and me back in the day.
Well, I was gonna say that's the reason I'm here. I don't know if the Next Round viewers know that.
Hokinson got you here?
Yeah.
I thought it was Josh Pate.
No, it was Justin Hokinson. I knew Josh Pate and Hokinson prior to you guys, which is so random. Josh Pate, I reached out. This is fun. Do we have time for this, Dunaway?
Not a deep story, no. But
okay.
Not your usual Emily Grace story. Give me the clip notes.
We're doing this while you talk.
Yeah. Okay, give me a signal when we need to go. Long story short, Josh Pate, when I was the sideline reporter for Georgia Southern, going into Coach Helton's first season, I had started watching Late Kick, and sweet Josh Pate, I messaged him on Twitter. I was not verified. I had 300 followers, and I was like, hey, my name is Emily Grace McWhorter. If you ever need any information on Georgia Southern, I will be your person, like with Helton's first season. He was so nice, so kind to me. And so we formed a relationship and just so kind. And then Hoke, I met in Auburn going to see Mikey. And I met him at this random restaurant. And I'd actually been there to meet with someone else on staff. It was kind of a bust. Saw him at a restaurant, saw his Twitter scape open. And I was like, he works in sports. Long story short, I ended up here.
Not that short. Couple.
She's done away.
Oh, man,
guys.
A
couple of just so you'll know, like if I'm ever doing this, that's a
Is that a
rep
tick?
sign. Or if I look at the clock and then look back at you.
Yeah, I saw that all.
There's a lot of tells. He plays poker.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie Lessick. Say hi to everyone. Anne-Marie, how are you?
Hi, everybody.
What school?
I go to Clemson, and it is so great. I hope nobody hates me for all of the Alabama listeners out there.
Why? Alabama beat you guys a lot in playoff games.
Well, actually, I would say I don't think it's as bad anymore. I think that since we kind of suck now, it's like
Great
people
quote.
backed off.
Great
like
quote.
we're not as much of a threat now. If I was here like 3 years ago, people would probably be giving me some nasty looks. So
we kind of suck now, so it's not so bad.
well, I mean, it's kind of funny too, because like I get there and then that's the last. Like as soon as
Yeah.
I got to Clemson, we no longer make the playoffs. I mean, I might be the jinx.
Yeah. So
That's
if you had a
okay.
chance to tell Dabo anything about to help him coaching, what would you tell Dabo?
A nice little heart-to-heart to Dabo. You know what? I know that there are like lots of, mixed opinions about Dabo. I think you're either a Dabo lover or you completely criticize everything he does. But for me, I kind of think that he's just a values guy. Like he sticks to his principles. And I think there's something to say about the respect that I have, knowing that he like can stick to his word, can stick to his, like what he said before. Do I think he can win a championship game with the way that he's coaching currently? I think it'd be really difficult.
You'd love to see him open up the wallet and spend a little bit more
I'd
in the
love
portal.
to see us not be in the list of like the Navy and the Army. People have not taken any other
Do you know
transfers. That'd be great. I just think
Tyler
it's
that
going
made
to
the
be
phone
way
call?
more difficult for us to do something. So
Oh, yeah.
What, Rockstar?
Do you know Tyler that made the phone call? The guy that on the phone.
do you
that-
know Tyler from Spartanburg?
I do know Tyler from
Wait,
Spartanburg.
Shut the door. You-
I thought you meant like, do you know what it is?
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
No. Yeah, I thought you knew Tyler
that
from-
is somebody
Oh, yeah.
that I would love to meet. That is celebrity. I mean, because I think we were like 4-4 when he called in,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, like,
Do you
won the
think he
rest
was?
of the game.
Do you think he was planted? Like it was Dabo's way to get it all out.
Wow. I don't know. Dabo,
You don't want to speculate. That's okay.
I don't want to speculate, but it is really funny because you get Dabo talking about stuff, and he is one of those coaches, like, he's not like Saban where he'll just, like, he doesn't like to engage as much. Like,
yeah.
Dabo he'll go on a rant and he'll tell you how he feels.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. I don't think it was planted, but I think he was definitely hearing stuff, and that kind of sparked it.
He just saw an opportunity and was
He
like,
saw the
you,
opportunity.
Tyler,
He
from
took it.
Spartanburg
Yeah.
are going to be
Yeah.
the person.
Dabo is a short story long person for sure.
So me and Dabo are
No.
twins,
But
similar.
Anne Marie's
same way.
job today as an intern
Yeah.
was to put together our 4 downs. And
How
it's-
cool is that?
And it's brought to you by our friends at Slice. She's going to deliver our 4 downs today.
excited.
Zach says the Spartanburg dude is 100% fake.
Yeah,
I thought
wow.
for a moment we were about to prove it was real. I thought Anne Marie's like, no,
Yeah,
I've
I
had
was
beers
like,
with him.
This is going to be incredible.
Absolutely. We've been to Esso together.
I wish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Find that on the fall. See if you can do some digging.
I'm going to do some digging, and I'll text you guys an update.
FaceTime us.
Okay,
is what we'll
FaceTime,
need.
yeah.
Slice brings you 4 downs every day. Slice is a great place for lunch or dinner. Go by there. 5 great locations. You know the places. The Hot Mama's my favorite. Go by there. Lunch, dinner. They cater and everything. Slice. It's the best pizza around. Go check them out. They bring you 4 downs, and we always start with
first down.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get into it with a sort of Clemson-ish question,
That's a good
because
way to
why
start.
not?
I like it.
Why not? I think we're gonna settle an ongoing debate that I see probably once every few weeks when I go on Instagram or Twitter. Who is the better team, 2018 Clemson or 2019 LSU? Now, keep in mind that 2018 Clemson beat Bama 44-16, and 2019 LSU beat Clemson 42-25.
Okay, first of all,
Okay.
love the
So-
context. Amory's doing great.
welcome.
First one.
Thought I'd-
I'm going LSU. I saw them play in person, and I think the win over Clemson trumps it. They're both really, really good teams of that era, but I am going to go LSU.
I would. I don't know if am I getting all of Anne Marie's content in my ear here. Did she mispronounce 2020 Alabama?
Boom.
did I? I didn't hear that
Alright.
part of
2
the
years
question.
later, boom.
So you guys are 2018 Clemson, 2019 LSU playing for the silver medal behind 2020 Alabama.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying who's the better team.
Comparing
no,
those
Comparing the
two.
two
I
teams.
understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
Okay.
He's
I-
beating
Stick
us.
to your guns.
I am going to surprise people here and think 2018 Clemson
Really?
would
Really?
beat 2019 LSU.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence and those receivers, the way they're playing, what is misunderstood about 2018 at Clemson was their defensive line were just NFL studs, and they caused Alabama all sorts of problems out in Santa Clara. I was at the game. I've not seen a Nick Saban team beaten like that ever. So I would go 2018 Clemson over 2019 LSU.
That's a fair point. I mean, I will say, if you think about it, Alabama did lose to LSU that year, only by 5. And I think that,
And Tua was playing on one leg.
personally, I think that was a horrible game by Alabama. I think they had 5 interceptions or something insane. It was crazy.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and to your point, our defensive line, I think Clemson had 3 first-round picks. So
Beast.
absolutely insane. And everything else about the team didn't really change much besides the defensive line. But I think I would still go 2019 LSU.
Well, you've got to learn a lot. You got to learn a lot about being a homer. Let's do second down.
Second
Okay.
down.
So today in 1980, Larry Bird beat out Magic Johnson for NBA Rookie of the Year. Who ended up having the better career?
You want to go first, or you want me to go first anyway?
You go first on this one.
I'm going Larry Bird. I think there were 2 very different style of players. Larry Bird had 3 consecutive MVPs, I want to say. Someone fact check me on that, but I think Larry Bird was the better player.
Magic Johnson had a better career.
Are we doing better player? Well, I mean, I guess
Better
same
career.
thing. Better
I guess
career?
it is
Yeah.
a little bit of a different
I mean,
question.
Magic Johnson owns
I would also
theaters
say
and
Magic Johnson,
part
just
of the
because if you're
Dodgers.
looking at career.
Yeah, I
he
mean
had 5
I'd go
now
Larry
in the
Bird.
business world, Magic Johnson has killed it. But just in
Right.
basketball terms, very close, both iconic. But I would go Magic Johnson.
Okay.
I would go Magic Johnson. What about you?
I would also say Magic Johnson, just because personally, if I look at careers, I really look at, title wins. And so just because he had 2 more than Larry Bird.
That's true.
I would say,
Yep, I'm with you. I'll go Magic. Let's do third down.
Third down.
So Puka Nacua, his birthday is today. Happy birthday. He is a wide receiver, Rams, who turned 23 today.
Did Lance send in this question? We
Always
got a Puka Nacua.
Always got to get a ram in there.
Yeah.
Ram it in.
Well, so who do we think is going to have a better career? Rookie Rome Aduns or Puka Nacua?
Roma Dunze from Washington, now with the Bears, I believe, or Puka Nacua. If Lance would hear, he would say what, Rockstar?
Well, I mean, Puka's amazing. Like, he plays with Matt
Yes.
Stafford's his quarterback. Matt Stafford. Chicago don't even know what a quarterback is.
For some
Just
reason,
saying.
I'm going to say Roma Dunze is going
And
to
this
have
is
a better
better
career.
rookie career?
No, just a
or-
better career.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
Puka's rookie career was
is
good.
unbeatable.
I just feel like eventually the defenses will catch up to him. But he was amazing this past year. I think Odunze is going to be special, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Dunze. What about you?
I don't know. I'm torn. I thought it was better rookie career. So I said Puka because I don't know if Rome Adunze will top that.
Because Puka was already great
right,
as a rookie.
Right. So
Amazing, he's only
if we're
23.
going, I know my age. How crazy is
Kinda
that?
scary.
Yeah.
Always back to you.
Yeah. Of course.
What about you?
I would probably say Puka, which I don't know. The Bears have so many questions. the Bears have so many questions for me right now. I mean, they have Caleb Williams, but their season was just such a disaster. Like, in terms of, I just think that Puka proved himself. I think that in the offense that they run, like, he's just going to keep being fed the ball. You know?
Eventually Cooper Kupp could go somewhere else,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Did you have something else to say on
no,
this?
Dunaway. No.
At 3 after the
let's
at 3
keep
after
it
the top of the
cruising.
hour?
No.
Okay. Let's do fourth down.
Fourth
All
down.
right, last one. So it is Paul Skeen's birthday today. Who do we think will have more money in a combined relationship? So either Paul and Livy together. So
Yep.
Livy, Dune, and Paul together, however many they have, or Brianna Chicken Fry and Zach Bryan.
In spite of you, I'm doing Livy Dunn.
What a great
and
question.
Paul
First of
Skeens.
all, what a great question. So
Wow.
we got
Who
we got
came up with that?
we got Paul Skeens, who's 22 today,
Yep.
and Livy Dunn, combined relationship net worth.
Yeah.
I would say right now
Them.
they're ahead, right?
Yeah. At Lifetime, I'm sticking with them.
Zach Bryan and Bree Chicken Fry.
Yo,
Bree's
girl.
probably not even in this conversation money wise, but I bet check her
She's
net
got a
worth.
good amount.
She may be $1 million,
Oh,
right?
I think she's
Well,
well
think about her
beyond a million.
TikTok.
You think Bree is well beyond $1 million?
I do. I think she does so many little things that add, like, she has the Barstool with Dave Portnoy. She has her own show on Barstool as well. I know they get a ton of podcast listeners and like ads and all that accumulate. She also has TikTok.
I'm seeing 1.5.
1.5 for Bree? Wow.
Yeah.
It's already good
Yeah.
net worth.
Yeah.
Like Livy's $5-6 million a year right now.
Yeah.
Skeens just signed that major contract.
Paul we're going to see him for a while.
What about Zach Bryan? What's he, selling out shows left and right now.
Yeah, and I looked it up, and I think he makes like anywhere between $500,000 and $700,000 a show.
Yeah, I hate to tell you guys this,
crazy,
but
though.
Zach is not going to stop. He can't stop playing. Paul Skeens' arm at some point
I
can't.
thought about that too. I think celebrities long term make more money, like entertainment industry, just because of the risk of being hurt
Right,
and like
longer
the end of
career.
your career. So I think they'd accumulate more money over time.
Oh, that is true.
10 million.
Royalties are lifetime.
Zach's at 10?
Estimated around 10 million.
10 million already. He's just now taken off. I don't know if he writes all of his songs. I think he does, which means he has the royalties. So all
Yeah,
of them.
that'll be interesting.
That's our 4 downs today, brought to you by our friends at Slice. Slice Pizza, great locations everywhere, including Cahaba Heights. Not Cahaba Heights, excuse me. That was a different thing. That was New York Butcher. Great locations like Vestavia, down in Homewood. You got the original in Lakeshore, Montevallo, and everywhere in between. It's our friends at Slice. Great place. Thank you, Anne Marie,
Yes,
for coming by.
good job,
Absolutely,
Anne Marie.
anytime.
That may have been
Anytime.
that may have been the
Thank you.
first.
Oh, party.
That may have been the best job of an intern doing 4 downs.
Yes. That was incredible.
Thank you. I'm so happy to have the title.
She did great.
Remember your first time to do 4 downs?
You had to do it quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Your questions were long.
Yeah.
I think you gave them to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
damn.
One more hour to go. This hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and see Sterling and the crew. Got to get Anne Marie some Champy's chicken at some point. Mississippi Delta recipe tamales and so much more, including the hand-cut chicken fingers. Go by and have lunch today. Great date night. Caters your tailgating and anything. It's Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're back in a moment for the final hour. Stay with us.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of walk-ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of walk-ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
You
could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, clearing up a little dead wood from earlier. Braves only 5 games back, not 6 back. I got that wrong earlier. After their big win, they play later on tonight, and you can get the Pennant Grace with Josh and Emily Grace. See what they talked about live yesterday. Still podcasted for you at Disrupt the Media. Disrupt the Media. Like and subscribe all their social media platforms there, and continuous content at Roll Tide Pods and War Dam Pods, including the Village Vice with Zach and Brad over there. They've got a new content up from this week as well. And Mick and Jake on Roll Tide Pods with their new content up. Always there for you at Disrupt the Media. Go like and subscribe. Final hour of the show here, as always, brought to you by Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. I told you about them going to break. It's a wonderful thing to do for lunch and or dinner. Go by and say hi to Sterling. He's been one of the great things we've experienced in coming over here and doing our own platform is having a guy like Sterling in our corner, and he means the world to us, and we appreciate when you stop by and see him on Highway 119 and support him. We've unveiled number 31 Nebraska on the show. We'll continue our 40 and 40 tomorrow on the show. We've unveiled our new intern, Anne Marie, who just did our her first 4 downs for us today. We talked about Mark Sears and Jaron Stevenson. We're still waiting on their deadline now, which is just under 13 hours away, on staying in the NBA draft or coming back to play at Alabama. That decision will be known at some point today, something that we're watching very closely. We talked to Hokinson about Auburn basketball, their roster, now that Miles Kelly is added. Auburn golf playing for a national championship today. At 4:25, they tee off against Florida State. You can watch it on the Golf Channel and on Peacock, streaming there, as they play for their first ever men's golf championship. Alabama softball arrived in Oklahoma City yesterday. They're practicing as we speak on the field. They play in less than 24 hours now tomorrow against UCLA in the first of their 15th College World Series appearance. And Birmingham Southern is still alive. They're about to crank up the Division III World Series. Forrester, I don't know if you know this or not. You're a big White Sox fan. Adam LaRoche used to play for the White Sox. He retired immediately as a White Sox player when they told him to stop bringing his son around so much. His little kid.
It's crazy.
His little kid has grown up. He's a pitcher at Birmingham Southern,
So
Drake
cool.
LaRoche.
I am aware. Drake LaRoche was at the center of some controversy there in Chicago.
Your White Sox organization don't like having kids around?
That's not surprising at all.
Birmingham Southern trying to go on. They also, Forrester, you've seen this before in the past. In sports, they've had their people get GoFundMes going.
Yeah.
they started one for this team, and I checked it this morning, over $104,000 raised to pay for the expenses of the team to go to the Division III World Series. So good on the fans for helping out this team.
Where does the trophy go? If they were to win it all, who gets the trophy?
That is a good question.
It's a good point. Where do all those trophies go? Birmingham Southern, because didn't Dwayne Rebold win a couple of NAIA championships back in the day?
At least one.
Yeah.
It'd be like the class hamster. Everybody gets it for a weekend.
Yeah. If I was the baseball team, I'd keep the trophy because the school doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, who gets it though? Like the captain?
Let me know in the chat
Captains?
room. If Birmingham Southern were to win the Division III national championship, who gets the trophy? Where would you keep the trophy?
And did they go to the White House?
They don't.
Oh.
But that would be a great thing to get the D3 champion to the White House, considering their story.
You could display it on Lunce's desk.
We could probably pawn it off of them.
Yeah, Daniel
We'd have to move
says
some buffalo sauce.
it could go to the Methodist Church. Yeah.
We could be like a holding location for it.
Yeah. Have people come up and see it.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of other things I wanted to get to in college football in this segment. Emily Grace sitting in for Brian and Lance today, doing the job of two people. Matt Hayes, friend of the show, writes for Saturday Down South, does sports talk radio in Jacksonville in that area. Farmed and developed and reported this story yesterday, that USC football tried for 2 years to get out of this year's opening game with LSU. They didn't want to play the game.
For 2 years?
For 2 years, they've tried to get out of the game. And LSU and ABC and ESPN would not let them out of their contract.
Wow.
They didn't want to play this game. It's going to be played in Las Vegas. And I'm going to need Forrester to help me out here. I'm trying to think, Forrester. We've had in our broadcasting, in our local TV days in the past, there were times when I remember, I think Mike Shula, when he was hired, or maybe it was after, somebody got out of a game. Alabama wanted out of a game. And I think, didn't Terry Bowden, when he got hired, I believe he wanted out of Auburn and Florida State playing each other because Terry didn't want to play Bobby. Bobby Bowden was the coach and son versus father there. So we've seen schools buy their way out of contracts.
Yeah. Was not the case.
They couldn't get out of this one because it's USC's first game as a Big Ten school. Fox was trying to help them get out of it, this game, because they didn't want USC's first time as a Big Ten school to be broadcast on ABC, ESPN.
Wow.
And that's who's broadcasting this game. But USC, this game was set up back in 2021, 4 months before Lincoln Riley was the head coach. And for 2 years, they've tried to get out of it because they didn't want this matchup.
How do conversations like that start? They just approach the contracts and
AD usually go, hey, they're usually buyouts in the contract. And then usually you have to provide another opponent maybe.
Yeah.
And according to Matt Hayes' reporting, you had USC even offering up other opponents. Hey, this school, we talked to this school. This school will do it. They'll do it if you let us out. And every time, ABC, ESPN, and LSU said, no, we want it to be USC, LSU, which is one of the marquee games in the early part of the season. According to Matt Hayes, it got to the point where the agent for the coaches got involved. Trace Armstrong is both the agent for Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly. And Lincoln Riley asked Trace, would you talk to Brian and see if he'd help us out? And Brian said, nope.
So Brian Kelly's all in.
Brian Kelly's all in. Want to play the game.
Wow.
Want to play the game.
That's so I feel like from a marketing standpoint, that makes that game even more desirable. If you play into that of like they want it out for 2 years, but we're playing them.
Yeah.
That's a great
it could work in both locker rooms, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're LSU, these guys didn't want to play us. 2 years they've been trying to get out. Let's go show them why they didn't want to play.
Exactly.
Other way is they wouldn't let us out of this game, guys.
So we're going to...
Their mistake. Let's go kick their ass.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, both teams getting $5 million each to play in that game in Vegas. It'll be the most watched game of the opening weekend because it's Sunday night. It's a standalone game, and that's pretty impressive there. Another crazy thing that happened, you've seen this happen up here during Nick Saban, during the how you have to check your sources and you don't want to report things before it's time.
Yes, I was in the car traveling, but I have heard the stories of, are we going to click it? We have it ready. But
Right.
we had to be for certain.
Right. For those that don't know, before it was announced, I got tipped off that Nick Saban was retiring, but I couldn't get confirmation from a second source.
Right.
Or get this guy back on the phone who was on the coaching staff because he was in the meeting as Saban was announcing it to find out that he wasn't pulling my leg, that it was true. And in the meantime, Chris Lowe got the second confirmation and reported it before us.
But we were right there.
We were close, but our phrase up here is always, it's better to be right
than first.
Right? Better to be right than first. We're not in the business of breaking news. Over the weekend, there was a report that Utah, who is on their way to joining the Big 12, was actually going to join the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference.
What?
The report got so widespread that Utah themselves had to issue a statement yesterday.
Wait, give me some context. Who's the writer? Where?
I don't know who started it, but it became such a talking point everywhere on the internet that Utah had to address it with an official statement. Fabricated and irresponsible reporting is what Utah's athletic director said, that the ACC rumors are not true. We're proud to be becoming a new member of the Big 12. And when you look at it, I don't think I'd want to be joining the ACC right now if I'm Utah.
No.
No, the Big 12 seems to be more stable ground.
Yeah, in my playoff contenders, I had Utah as my first pick for that because they've got Cam Rising. They did have terrible injuries, but scheduling wise, I feel like they could be a really good team.
And BYU's in the Big 12.
Yeah,
that map sort of works in the Big 12 better than the ACC map does, which is Atlantic Coast Conference, SMU, and then all those teams out in California. And then we know Clemson and Florida State. It looks like we're down to days, months, or years. I don't know if we get to years, but days, weeks, and months before Clemson and Florida State want to leave the ACC.
Yeah.
So to me, the Big 12 looks more stable. Utah having to say, we're not going to the ACC.
That's so
we're staying to the Big
interesting.
12.
I wonder what the root of that was. That's just seems so outlandish.
Sometimes bad reporting or just an internet rumor can start getting spread so much
So quickly
that you have to address it officially, which then makes it an official story. Like, I would never report that rumor that they were, we're not going to the Big 12, we're going to the ACC. But I have to report Utah's official response.
Exactly.
That now it becomes news.
Exactly.
That they responded to that. One more note from the SEC meetings yesterday. This hour of the show being brought to you, as I said, by our friends at Inverness Country Club. LT has hooked us up with the fine folks at Inverness Country Club. I've known them for a long time, but now we've got a relationship with them, and we want you guys to experience what's going on at Inverness Country Club. You can find your sense of community right now at Inverness. They have memberships that fit everyone, whatever you're looking for, young couples or whatever. If you're into social membership, they have a resort-style pool, complex and full-service cabana and bar there. They'll wait on you right there poolside. Live music on Friday nights, Sunday brunch, sports. If you're into sports, that kind of membership, they got tennis and pickleball. If you're looking for a membership for golf, they've got that beautiful golf course, currently expanding their driving range. And if you like to travel, that membership they have with Heritage Golf gives you hundreds of courses that you can play, all available right there under one membership. That includes wonderful child care whenever you need it. It's all right there with our friends at Inverness Country Club. Get more information by going online to iccalabama.com, or calling them up at 205-991-8608. It's our friends at Inverness Country Club. Go check them out today and see if they are your home, to be your country club home in the future. Rockstar, cut number 5, Kirby Smart, please. Jaden Rashada, we know him now as a one-time Florida commitment, actually a one-time Miami commitment, who actually had received some money from the NIL at Miami. He signs with Florida, pays back that NIL money to Miami from some money at Florida. but ends up not getting what he was promised, he says, from Florida. So he doesn't go to Florida, gets released, goes to Arizona State, plays in 3 games. He's now the backup at Georgia. While now the backup at Georgia, he has filed a $10 million plus lawsuit against Billy Napier in Florida. Caught in the middle of all this is Kirby Smart, who's the coach of Georgia. Rivalry's good enough between Georgia and Florida. Now you factor in that your backup quarterback, Jaden Rashada, has filed a lawsuit. Kirby asked about it yesterday at the SEC meetings.
Kirby, what's it say about the state of things in college football when a 20-year-old recruit, or not recruit, college player for you, is suing the coach for $10 million? I mean, what is...
I'll be honest with you, I don't know if that's accurate. I mean, I talk to Billy all the time about stuff like that, and I don't know that he's suing a coach. I really don't know what's going on with the lawsuit. So, well, I think Billy's named in it, yes, but I don't know that it's just him. Right. But again, it's the sign of the times, possibly. I don't get really caught up in that. I worry about what's in my little bubble at Georgia, and that's outside the bubble for me. So, don't really know.
So you just found out about it the day before?
Yeah. I mean, Jaden came and let me know that his group was going to take a lawsuit, and that told me that was between him and his family and his attorneys, and so they did.
Yeah, and I think we forget you have rights.
Yeah.
As an American citizen to file lawsuits.
You do.
Just because you're a player at Georgia, it's not like Kirby would have said, you can't do that.
Right.
Well, I can, Coach. I'm going to do that. I was just letting you know. Kirby's very upfront. Yeah, go ahead and do it, man. No problem.
I do think that is in his Georgia bubble, though, now, because he's on his team. So
if Rashada ascends to be his quarterback someday, that Georgia-Florida rivalry, that's another twist to that game if Rashada is ever in that contest.
What are they? It's not called the largest cocktail party anymore. What's the new name?
It used to be the world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Yep.
Yeah, I
what
had
is
to throw
it now?
outdoor in. It is.
What is it called?
Just the next game. I don't think they have a name.
No, they did come up with something.
They came up with something, but
the game.
World's largest.
I don't know.
Party. Yeah, I don't know
There's
what
something
they're calling
though.
now. Yeah.
I've been to that game actually.
Have you really?
I have in Jacksonville. Yep, it is quite an experience.
Yeah, I've never gone. I've never really had a desire to go. I want to go to the Red River.
Yeah, that would be really cool. The fair, isn't the fair outside?
State fair and 11 o'clock kick. Do the state fair afterwards. Do Texas and Oklahoma. Now
That'd
that's an SEC game. I may get to it at some point. All right, Gutter Cap, wrapping up this segment. Trash, EG is going to read trash for us in the next segment. Gutter Cap, a patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate gutter cleaning. Backed with a lifetime warranty. Over 20 years of service right here in Birmingham from C-Stu and his crew. Up to 45% off retail pricing right there. And free estimates. Free estimates so important there. GutterCapBirmingham.com. Get C-Stu to come out and check out your house and tell you how much the Gutter Cap system will help and add value to the house. There's the phone number on your screen. You can call our good friend Chris Stewart, 205-823-2212, 823-2212. Trash is up next.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent Trane dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a Trane. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Chat room is saying just the world's largest outdoor party now.
That makes sense.
Doesn't sound right.
But
maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's when people get confused when they get there, like, what the hell is this? A football game?
Yeah. Where's the cocktails?
I came for the cocktails.
The SEC meetings continuing down in Destin. Our next big road trip will be SEC Media Days, which is weird, in Dallas.
Right.
Coming up in July, so a little over a month away from that. Show being brought to you today in part by our friends at HydroLive. LT will tell you anytime we go on the road for a big road trip, HydroLive is usually there getting us ready to go on the road, or when we come off the road, HydroLive can be there for you as well. A lot of great services at HydroLive. You get the IV therapy treatments, the vitamin injection therapy, compression therapy, the cryotherapy, all that at HydroLive. HydroLive Therapy, great locations all around town that you can go and check out there. And you get great deals as well with our friends at HydroLive. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And you've got 2 Birmingham locations to serve you right there in Homewood and also in Hoover in the Greystone area. Go check them out, our friends at HydroLive. Our intern, Anne Marie, is going to join us one more time.
Yep.
EG's invited her back.
I have.
Because she's tired of talking to me.
That is not true.
And we're going to do trash in just a second.
Make it quick, though.
Yeah.
We got stuff to talk about.
I can speed read.
Yeah, make it quick, though. No, one thing I wanted to show you here. Do you wear jewelry? You got some jewelry on.
I do. I always wear jewelry. Pretty much
my
every
wedding
day.
ring's at home. Sometimes I forget it. Sometimes I don't. You've got jewelry on. Rockstar, you don't wear a lot of. You got a watch. I got a watch. You got a wedding ring on.
I used to wear earrings. I had an eyebrow piercing.
You had an eyebrow piercing?
Oh
Rocky?
God, in my 20s, that was really cool.
You did not have an eyebrow.
Yeah, I did. It was my left eyebrow.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had it for about 5-7 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And it just closed up?
No, I can. Yeah, you can see where it was, but yeah, it's closed up.
Well, there was the government just seized 345 fake rings valued at $1.45 million. Do you see what's unique about these rings?
Yes.
They're championship rings, but they're fake. They were shipped from Hong Kong, and they're fake rings. They're 18 different teams, including some former New York Yankee World Championships, New England Patriots, the Golden State Warriors, fake Chicago Bulls when Michael Jordan played for them. And what's really crazy, fake Cincinnati Reds. The Reds haven't won a World Series championship since 1990.
So, wait, just some clarification here. Are people like the average Joe buying these?
Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask.
They sell them on the internet, on eBay and stuff. Hey, I got a 1990 Cincinnati Reds championship ring.
They're real.
Bidding started at $150. I mean, $150,000 or whatever. You know, they're fake rings.
Wow.
But they're selling them like they're real.
So someone paid $350,000. That's what that's been paid for.
1.4 million.
Oh.
Is all those
That's
350 rings.
350. Okay.
Yeah, 1.4 million in fake rings.
Wow.
New Jersey Devil one is there, Daniel. That's exactly right.
So interesting.
I always wonder when you see these Super Bowl rings on eBay or something being sold. I'm like, I know sometimes players like that doesn't mean that much to them. I'm going to sell it and see how much money I can get for it. And they come on hard times. Sometimes they get stolen. But I've always wondered, are they really rings?
Yeah. That's so interesting. I think nowadays too, you can buy so many things that are counterfeit super easily. There's apps you can just beep 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 and buy
refurbished,
fake,
especially.
Yeah, you can buy fake AirPods, fake MacBooks from China.
I know you've been scammed before. Have you ever been scammed by anything?
I have not, like, very surprisingly, and I had a really close call the other. It's really embarrassing too because it's something that was so obvious. Do you ever get those texts that are like, "Oh, UPS tracking, like log in here"? And I literally put my information into.
Oh no!
I put it in, and it was like dot, something that was so obviously fake, but it was just because I actually had ordered something, and I was like, oh, because I don't order. Like, how many things do I really order?
Yeah.
You know, it was bad.
I've lost my Facebook account. I lost my Instagram once before.
Yeah.
By replying to a DM from an account that was a friend of my daughter's who had spent time at our house a lot, and she even called me Mr. Jim.
That's crazy.
And so I replied to that with some information, and they hacked my Instagram account. It drives me crazy. It's not like I bought Taylor Swift tickets.
I really don't know how I haven't gotten hacked.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Did she tell you how she got scammed?
I would have fallen for that, though.
Wait, I did tell you though.
Yeah.
Oh, because we were at. Oh, actually, I helped someone. Ryan Hennessy's girlfriend. Not Ryan Hennessy. Wait, who was it? Johnny.
For those that don't know, you got scammed on concert tickets.
I got scammed a large lump sum of money out of Taylor Swift concert tickets. Not fun at all. It was horrible.
And you were just out that money.
Yeah.
That sucks.
$2,000 down the drain.
I don't know what I would do.
I'd be mad.
I would not be happy.
I was pretty mad.
Let's do trash. It's brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Hit it, Rockstar.
Tavares, right in the butt.
What?
No.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Oh, and it's spring. That means it's buying season out there, and our friends at Mortgage Right are here to help. They want to help you, and they've always got the veteran-founded company here in Birmingham that's built around helping you. They're all throughout the country as well. MortgageRight.com/TNR. MortgageRight.com/TNR. Go by and check them out. All you have to do, really, is you go on their website. You take a look at the information there. You can call them up and talk to somebody. 900-7200. 900-7200. Before you take the next steps to your new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. There's no cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. Get that information again by going to their website, mortgageright.com/TNR. What do we have here?
Let's do some trash, Jim. Dunaway. Rat bigger than dog found his rodent catcher. Warns they are getting bigger and bolder. A rat catcher has warned rodents are getting, they're getting bolder. And he once caught one as bigger than a dog. Former military man Kieran Sampler has dealt with 50,000 rodents in his career as a pest controller. He once caught a rat which measured 22 inches head to tail, double the size of a Chihuahua's body, and bigger than a Yorkshire Terrier. And the 29-year-old says most rats he catches now measure in at 18 inches long. Rats are getting bigger, bolder, more brazen. They're less bothered about humans, cats, or anything. So that's really fun.
Well, we were in Sacramento doing the show. We have to pull in these back alleys, and Sacramento was bad. I mean, I've seen huge rats. Like, it is uncomfortable. Like, they're big boys.
We had a rat get into our garage back in winter. So it came from outside into the garage. Luckily, never got into the house, but we had to deal with it for a while. And we were hesitant to call a professional to come get it.
Why?
Because we were just going to take care of it ourselves. Maggie, my wife, wears the pants in our family. It icks me out. She's of German descent. She's of German descent. She had no problem. She's in there like she's going to World War III. She's got sticky pads, and she's concocted some poison she'd read off the internet that was going to Yeah.
So when you guys found it, she was the one that took initiative. What did you do?
Yeah, you haven't known me very long. Me,
Yeah.
I like barricaded the door.
Yeah.
It can live in there. I'll live in here. But
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But finally, we had to call a professional because the rat was outsmarted us.
That's what it says. Rats can be devious. After studying their behavior for 7 years, he told how clever rats will adapt their behavior.
Yeah. So we had to call pros.
That's so gross.
Mom find. Oh, sorry, Dunaway.
No.
Please
It's
tell your
pacing.
story.
It's pacing. Gotta go quick.
Mom fined $88,000 after kids collect 72 clams from a California beach thinking they were seashells.
Oh, wait. What? You can't take those?
Nope.
And those don't look like seashells. I mean, come on.
Why?
A California mother was slapped with a fine worth $88,000 after her kids mistakenly collected clams thinking they were picking up seashells on the beach without a fishing license. Charlotte Roos was on a family trip to Pismo Beach, known as the clam capital of the world, when she said her kids picked up 72 clams from the clamming hotspot during their getaway. The Department of Fish and Wildlife confronted the mother of 5 and told her that her kids were collecting the clams without a license and issued her a ticket. Right before we went, that's when I opened it, and that's when I saw the amount. She later received a fine in the mail, ordering her to pay $88,000, almost $89,000.
Oh, shut up. No.
See, there's several things wrong with the
so
story.
ridiculous.
Well, there's a little bit silver lining, a little bit.
So before, it was almost $89,000 before a San Luis Obispo County judge knocked her fine down to $500. It made me really sad and depressed. It kind of ruined our trip. So the whole experience taught her children and her valuable lessons about wildlife regulations.
Well, first off, was there posted signs somewhere?
Not just that, but I'm a little skeptical that you're taking your family to the clam capital of the U.S. or something like that, and your kids collect 72 of those things. Those are big. Clams are big. They're not seashells. So I think she sort of knew what she was doing and got busted.
So the clams were still alive inside. Like
I don't know.
Oh.
I could serve these up at a fancy restaurant.
Was she bootlegging the clams?
But you're going to the clam capital and you're saying that your kids collect. Those are not seashells. Come on.
Do you think that EG's question? Do you think she was using the kids to?
Oh, I don't know.
Pick these up and she was selling them at local restaurants?
No, but would you tell your kid if look at these seashells? Like, son, those aren't seashells. And why do you have 72 of them?
It's going to stink to high heaven on the way home.
My parents would not let me bring home 72 seashells either.
Yeah, my mom would be like, pick your favorite.
Yeah, and let's go.
No, little Harper, my daughter, one time, she would get a few seashells, but we were coming back from the beach. She had gotten 1 or 2 things that still was living on the inside of them. You know, those little things that wash up in the waves, and then they bury themselves in the sand. She had thrown a couple of those in there.
Yeah.
Well, the living organism was still in it until about 2 days after she had left the shells in the back, and I could smell it in the minivan. I was like, what is that smell?
Oh, clam it.
But if there's no posted signs, I'd take that to court.
Yeah, well, she did. She got it down to $500, then got a shellfish tattooed on her arm to remember the situation after she won her case.
I wouldn't have done that.
What's her family? It's very shellfish of her.
Yeah.
That was a little questionable.
Georgia woman calls 911 to get raccoon tased. Have deputies Google restaurant hours for her. A Columbia County woman was arrested on Sunday after sheriff's deputies said she was repeatedly calling 911 for non-emergency issues. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office told the Augusta Chronicle that the 54-year-old woman had been calling 911 with more and more frequency over the last few months. According to an incident report, the woman called 911 on May 12th around 1:15 a.m., saying that she had a raccoon on her front porch and she wanted a deputy to tase it. She then called.
Not shoot it?
Nope, tase.
Not catch it? It needs to be
so
tased.
Interesting.
She then called back about an hour later, asking to have a deputy come to her home to escort her to the dumpster. I guess she took care of it herself. Around 5:30 p.m. that same day, she called 911 saying she needed a deputy to Google the hours of 3 businesses because she was hungry. On May 15th, the woman called 911 and hung up. Operators tried calling her back, but the woman never picked up. 12 seconds later, she called 911 again, but did not speak.
Yeah. She's going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
She's the one that's going to get fined $88,000 for calling 911 too much.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, calling 911 too much and a clam theft will get you $500, and well, she will get up to a year in jail, but it's a $500 fine.
Yeah.
In jail?
You can. It's up to.
Wow.
Yeah, they use that to scare you. Up to.
Yeah, up to a year. So she was refused to be taken to the hospital. It sounds like she wants a personal assistant, truthfully.
Yeah. Someone to talk
Sounds
to.
like she's a little on the
She might be lonely.
lonely side.
She might need somebody to talk to, yeah.
All right, last one. Woman who divorced ghost says he's jealous.
How do I like these? Do I like these stories?
No, I found out about that today.
Ghost relationship stories?
Oh, these freak me out.
Well, she's divorced, so come on, man.
She's
Give her time.
divorced, and the ghost was jealous after she adopted a possessed clown.
Oh, very small little fella.
That's creepy looking.
A woman who says she married, then divorced. What's the legal? How does that work legally? Divorced and ghost has adopted a possessed clown, but says it just made her ex jealous. Brocard, 40, tied the knot with a Victorian soldier ghost Eduardo, then split with him when she accused him of cheating, then stalking her.
Little Katie Holmes in the face there.
Oh, it's a Katy Perry more than Katie Holmes.
Yeah, I see
Katie
Perry.
Holmes, Katy Perry more?
Yeah,
because of the hair.
I could see that.
It's the eyes.
Maybe a little.
Yeah, you guys.
A young Elvira.
Look at the shoes. How are those comfortable at all?
Dunaway,
Like, how far do your toes go down in a shoe like
Dunaway,
that?
she's adopted a clown.
I don't think she's worried about her shoes.
And
Like
she's
your
got-
toes don't
She
go all
has
the way
other
down
things to
into
be
the
worried
point,
about, if
right?
we're being
No.
honest.
What do you want for your wall? Red spackle. Gotcha.
Like in women's shoes, your toes don't go all the way down to that point, right?
No.
No,
Okay.
they don't.
No. So,
Just horrible looking shoes.
yeah, I think those are just cowboy boots.
They are, I think.
So,
Those are teeny tiny feet. They look like they're puppet feet.
I think, the angle.
Oh,
Moving
because the
on.
clown's right here. That's what you're looking at, and then that's the woman.
So, the singer and songwriter, so we can check her out, has now adopted a possessed clown after connecting with him when spending a night at the Clown Motel in Nevada. Put that on my list to go to. She toured the USA with the clown doll, then has returned home to Oxfordshire with it to conduct paranormal investigations on him. But she says her ex, Eduardo, has become jealous and does not want the clown in the house. Ghost Magnet, Brocard encountered the possessed clown while touring the world filming a series of haunted locations for her TV show pilot. When asked about Eduardo, Brocard says his presence has been very manageable these days, and I only see him from time to time. He does not like the clown, though. He watches him, and I keep finding the clown by the door. Subtly, how do you say that? Subtly?
Suddenly?
Subtly is not Eduardo's strong point.
Subtlety.
Subtlety, there we go. He has nothing to be concerned about, as I have no intention of marrying a clown ghost, although that would be funny. Totally.
I kind of think I think he's worried about the wrong things here.
I think she is.
I mean, why are you, I wouldn't be necessarily jealous. I'd be more creeped out.
Hold up
I
Katie
see that.
Holmes.
Yeah, Katie Holmes.
I see that.
Yeah, Katy Perry, Katie Holmes.
Yeah, with the wig.
Zoe Deschanel.
I see that.
I see
Oh.
Zoe.
It's the cheekbones, too.
Zoe. Katie Holmes, Zoe, Katy Perry.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. It is buying season. If you want to refinance, buy a home that time of year, you just go to mortgageright.com/TNR, mortgageright.com/TNR, and they will take care of you. Great folks at Mortgage Right. Mortgage is done the right way. One more segment to go. Don't forget the Meltdown today, live at 2 p.m. Central Time, as it is every Monday through Friday, with Lunsford and Melton back there. 87 days away to week 0 football. One more college football thing and one more Alabama thing when we come back in the next round.
Follow John Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations: Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of The Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Stallions fans, your undefeated Birmingham Stallions are back at Protective Stadium this Saturday at 7 p.m. The Stallions take on the Houston Roughnecks for Hats Off to Heroes. Fans who purchase our Hats Off to Heroes ticket package will receive an exclusive camo hat. With only 2 home games left this season, don't miss your chance to cheer on your Birmingham Stallions. Let's pack protective, Birmingham. Tickets start at just $10 and are available at theufl.com. That's theufl.com.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Oh, Rockstar. It's Wednesday. What does that mean?
Oh, God, I don't know what the hell's happening tonight. I mean, we're all over the place, but I'll put a question mark at the end of it. Trivia?
Trivia is happening tonight with our friends at Odie's. Rockstar will be there. Find out who else will be there.
I think Will will be there. I don't know who that third chair is going to be.
Will be there. I have a feeling it could be Ryan Brown who could be there tonight.
Somebody tell him. I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll find out who is joining Rockstar at Trivia. If you could put trivia into one capsule, how much fun or what it is for people to come to Odie's tonight there in Crestline, what is it?
Well, this time of year is kind of hectic. We get a lot of teams because we have a lot of youngins home from college, and it is a lot of hooting and hollering, some good times. Some of my jokes land. A lot of them do not. If you want to witness that, and me play some songs and ask who's older, and
great food, great drink, and a good time with trivia tonight at Odie's right there in Crestline. Also the new one in Homewood. Go check them out, our friends at Odie's. Final thoughts here in our show today. First, thanks to Emily Grace McWhorter for filling in today.
You.
This is your first time to do the whole show, right?
Yeah, we did it in Pasadena, and then we did it in SEC Championship. But those were different settings. We kind of knew what the occasion was.
The first normal show
every day
that you've sat in here with us.
Yeah.
The Alabama thing I wanted to bring up. One of 12 schools is Alabama to have a football team that went to a bowl game, that went to the NCAA tournament, and now in the baseball NCAA tournament.
Wow.
So bowl and then both tournaments for basketball and baseball for the men. Alabama's one of 12. The others, Arizona, Clemson, Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina, NC State, Oregon, Tennessee, Texas, Texas A&M, and James Madison.
Wow, look at that.
Out of nowhere, JMU.
That's impressive.
The Monarchs
That's a
ringing
fun
that
list.
bell. So it's been a pretty good year. Alabama softball also in action tomorrow at 11 a.m. In the middle of our show, it'll crank up out in Oklahoma City. That game will be on ESPN tomorrow. Again, we're watching and waiting on Mark Sears and Jaron Stevenson. Mark had one more workout with the Milwaukee Bucks to see if Sears is coming back for one more year at Alabama. The deadline is happening tonight. In college football, Clemson and Florida State may be on their way out inevitably. If they do leave the ACC, where do you think they end up?
I think that's tough. I mean, I want to say SEC, but it's getting too crowded. I think they would want SEC. So I'm going to go Clemson. I don't know.
Big Ten for both
Big
of
Ten.
them. Yeah. I don't think it'd be the SEC.
I think they want it to be the SEC, but it'll be.
That's right. Again, I messed up. Dukes, not the Monarchs. You're right, Troy. James Madison
The
Dukes.
Dukes.
Forster, earlier in the show, we started off by letting Emily Grace McWhorter tell us the team she thought could win the college football national championship. I did not give her the other teams
Oh my goodness.
to make the playoffs, so you're going to give
Thank
me
you,
the other
Dunaway.
list here.
Thank
Page 2 of her graphic. These are her playoff contenders.
Yes, and again, these are not ranked in any particular order. I just truthfully liked how they looked on the graphic. But Utah, I do think that we're going to see them contending. Our friend Josh Pate also is pretty heavily on Utah that we'll see them. And then I've got Alabama. This is, I don't know.
So Utah would likely have to be Big 12 champion.
Yes, yeah. Utah Big 12 champs. Alabama, I think that I'm interested to see how the system is going to work with Jalen Milroe. What it comes down to me is that Kalen DeBoer is a winner. Everywhere he goes, he wins. So again, it was either Josh Pate or Joel Klatt that said this, and it really resonated with me. It was along the lines of, if Kalen DeBoer ended up, let's say, I'm just picking a random one, at Auburn after Brian Harsin, the overall consensus would be, oh wow, that's a really good thing. They're going to be really good. If you end up at Mississippi State, oh wow, they're going to be really good. And that is the same thing for Alabama. The only difference is what he's walking into. And that's not anything to say, who would want that job. It's so hard to follow, but it's something to take into consideration. So I do have them. Penn State, I think that they've always kind of been in the mix, and now with 12 teams, they'll fit right in. And then Ole Miss.
So you think they are a playoff team this year?
Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I think Jackson Dart, again, year 3, just like Quinn Ewers. And I think Lane Kiffin is just in a really good spot, the transfer portal king. He has done a great job in the offseason, and they just have really good weapons. They've got really good players, and I would be shocked if we don't see them. And I think Ole Miss fans are in the same boat.
Is that the end of your pages?
Yeah, I did 4 and 4.
Okay, very good. I just want to make sure I got them all.
Thank you, Dunaway.
Rockstar, if you'll give me cut 3, Lane Kiffin yesterday. Speaking of Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin gets asked about NIL at the SEC meeting.
Let's hear him.
And this is Lane Kiffin talking yesterday to the gathered reporters down in Miramar Beach, Destin.
I don't really know all the details with the Florida situation. I just think as things evolve and different things come in, I think an issue in general is we have a lot of new changes in college football over the last few years, and I understand why some are made, but not necessarily completely thought out, and then things happen that weren't intended initially from them. And I've kind of said before, I think some of them are rushed and not really have everybody's input to what is probably going to happen when they make the rules, as opposed to these people that make the rules and they just think, okay, well, this is how everybody will follow them. And like I always point back to NIL and what it was intended to be and what they thought it was going to be, and what, I don't know the numbers, but 98% of it is not. It's pay for play. So I just think that there's a lot of evolving things, and that issue, happened there, and so you just got to be aware of it.
He's talking about Jaden Rashada and the situation with Billy Napier in Florida. Billy Napier saying yesterday that he is comfortable with the way he handled the situation, but could not get into any details because of the litigation. I agree with you, Stephen. Talking with your hands baton has been passed from Nick Saban to Lane Kiffin. He did have some Saban-like hand movements there and some pounding of the thing. But one thing Lane was doing sort of there that Nick Saban always did at this event. He always used this as a platform for a talking point to have people discuss in the summer.
Yeah.
For Lane Kiffin there, it's about NIL. And a little shot at the rule makers of college athletics, that you make these rules and you don't think about if we follow this rule, what are the ramifications? What are the other things that happen down the line?
Yeah.
NIL has become one of those things.
Yeah, I think it's also something that's constantly evolving, and it's hard to necessarily make those decisions and those rules, because at the end of the day, the people having to enact them, they're not at that level that the rule makers are at. They're enacting these bylaws and ramifications and things like that, but actually implementing them is a completely different story that the coaches are now having to deal with.
Yeah, 100%. So the SEC meetings continue. There'll be more news out of it later today, and we'll have it for you tomorrow. Brownie and LT will be back with us tomorrow as well. Last night in basketball, the NBA series continued with Minnesota surviving Dallas, so we ended up not getting a sweep there. We're going to get a Game 5. Big game from Karl Anthony Towns and from Anthony Edwards there, 105-100. It ended an amazing streak. Kyrie Irving, 14-0 in opportunities to close out his opponents in his career. That was the first time he's lost a game with the opportunity to close out an opponent.
That's incredible. What a stat.
Now he's 14-1.
So pretty good.
Chances are he'll be 15-1. They'll close him out in the next game. Dallas and Minnesota. Ant says he thinks there will be a game number 6 coming up. Hockey continues tonight as well. Florida last night in OT beating the Rangers 3-2. We get a little Edmonton and Dallas tonight. Edmonton trying to even that series up with Dallas. All right, your thoughts. What did you think of the show?
Oh, I think it was great. Thank you for letting me sit in and being patient with me as I tell my stories.
Well, I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
It's always really good to have you hang out here.
No, I think it was fun. I think we got along super well. There was no Braves discussion that went poorly.
Little T comes back tomorrow.
Yes.
You have a vacation coming soon?
Yes, I do. I have a wedding Saturday.
You didn't tell us about this.
This Saturday?
Yeah. And
a joke.
Rehearsal dinner Friday, bridal luncheon Friday, and then head to the beach on Sunday.
So you're out next week?
Until next Thursday.
Till next Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, if I don't see you before you head off to wedding season.
Weird.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do for us. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, Dunaway.
Yep.
Have fun on your. I guess you're going on for 5 years. The way you were saying goodbye to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, have fun with it. Okay.
Well, it does seem like Little T's been gone forever, right?
Yeah. European vacation.
European summer.
Yeah.
She comes back tomorrow, and we'll break down what Little T did on vacation. But you can get an inside look at the Korn family on their European version of Uncorked. It's available right now wherever you get our podcast, including on the YouTube channel. Uncorked is Taylor Korn's look at life. And a good meltdown coming up later today, a new live version at 2 o'clock. The only thing I didn't get to on my sheet today, I was going to have them come in and show us an example of their trivia game they play.
Oh, my goodness.
But the next time I host a show without the guys, we'll do that.
Okay.
Thanks for being with us. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.